Chapter 4640. Chapter 4640, the 12th World War. The desires in the eyes are released. At this moment, in their eyes, Jojo and others are the fish on the cutting board. No resistance. The only resistance is Jojo in front of me. Now, Jojo is trying to fight against them by himself. In their view, it is even more self-sufficient. If it is a single soldier, Jojo's strength, even if they can't kill them, is enough to contain them. But now Jojo painted the ground for the prison, and the 10 sides were really fired, and they were confined to one side of the void. Invisible, it is equivalent to self-digging graves. Boom! At this time, the attack of the 12 people was so good that they went straight to the center. Death. Absolutely no one can survive under the power of our 12 people. Even if it is God, it will be annihilated. This power is enough to kill the world in an instant, let alone just one person. Dead. 12 people opened their mouths, and their eyes were full of poison. At the void center, Jojo closed his eyes quietly. Feel the killing scent from all sides. There is no hesitation. In the twinkling of an eye, the body of the phoenix is directly transformed. Cracking. Feng Ming is nothing, burning the world. However, the flame at this time is not unusual. It is the strongest flame on Jojo today. The fire of extinction. Boom! The fire of extinction spreads in an instant, sweeping through the void. In an instant, directly with Jojo as the center, began to burn the void. And the power of endless killing made by the 12th War is also wrapped in the power of the fire of extinction. Stinging thorns. The two forces collide in the void and then directly cause a violent explosion. But this time the collision. Jojo did not change in the slightest, and the body of the phoenix stood still in the void, releasing the endless fire of extinction. Can be 12 wars, but not so lucky. The fire of extinction is like a natural enemy for them. At the moment of the collision, they directly ignited their bodies. No, this is impossible. What power is this? I have already lost my body. Why can this flame still burn? Retreat. Rewind. Suddenly, an exclamation appeared. 12 people did not dare to stay, nor dare to take the initiative to approach, have exploded. However, before they acted, the power of the real fire of the 10 parties broke out at this moment. From the 10 azimuths, the real fire ignited instantly. Moreover, it seems to be drawn with Jojo on the center. It suddenly roared and burned the entire piece of the void that was banned. Rumble, rumble. The endless flame burst directly into the flame world. Not only that, at this moment, the fire of the 10 parties and the fire of the fire are burning together, and the power is not reduced, and the horror is so strong. Ah, oh woman, you're looking for death. Well, you want to go with us. Oh, I want to kill you. As long as you are destroyed, all power will disappear. Give me death. The 12th World War I made a sudden panic, screaming again and again. Even if they have long since had no flesh under this power, they are also unable to resist. It's just a blink of an eye, the body has begun to melt. But Jojo, there is no reaction from beginning to end. As if, as the warlord said, from the very beginning, Jojo has made plans to burn Jade. Bang! 12 figures bounced up and down in the flames. The whole body was full of flames, and before it was stunned, it disappeared. Only endless fear. No, let's go on. We all have to die. No way, if this is the case, then start to merge. At this time, some of the 12 people spoke. The expression is cold, but it is incomparable. In an instant, the remaining 11 people all have a look. Then, they were surprised to overlap each other. Not a fusion. Not one party dissipates, and the other party. It is a simple overlap. It's like everyone is in the queue, directly arranged in a row. Even the person who spoke originally. That's it. It can't resist it, and it is sprawling fire. One body after another began to dissipate. In the blink of an eye, only the last one is left in the 12 figures. At this time, the change is sudden. The only remaining body above the face is constantly changing. It seems that the 12 faces are merged together, which is extremely ugly. Hey, the fire of destruction? Sounds terrible, but what about it? Now the ambassador is already immortal. Even if you burn yourself alive, the ambassador will be safe and sound. There is only one left of the stalwart, and he laughs wildly. In front of him, Jojo, who is in the center of the endless flame, is a look of grief, leaving blood and shouting, burning directly into life, releasing an endless fire of extinction. Boom! For a time, the fire of extinction, the ravages of the sky, just like to burn the world. Yes, this power is already immune to this one-of-kind battle. Ha ha ha, useless. Now I am only physically, not dead. Your flames are gone. You must die. The battle of respect for the world makes it arrogant. Standing in the flames of endless destruction, motionless. Let the flames burn and remain indifferent. In the eyes of Joan's incarnation, he gave birth to a desperate look. Under this power, struggles are struggling. But this time, a roar of sound fell directly from the sky. I saw a grinding disk covering the sky, directly penetrating the power of the real fire of the 10 sides and rolling it from the void. The old immortal hybrid die, an angry drink falling from the void. The small and invincible figure controls the 6 lanes, controls the detachment of the grinding disk, and falls from the air. The battle of respect for the eyes makes the eyes shine. Oh, come one more to die. The power of sin in the district. Want to counter the ambassador? Whimsical. The power of killing is gone. Everything is empty. Give me away. The battle of respect for the border made the air punch. The endless killing gas is rolled up and falls directly on the detachment disk. Will release the power of the grinding disk and limit the birth to the void. Hey! A roar of roaring sounds through the void. I saw that the power of the small, invincible 6 suddenly collapsed, and the source of sin was suddenly annihilated. That is, the detachment of the grinding disk. Under this attack, it was also shot down and returned to the invincible body. And small invincible, also under this attack, blasted back hundreds of miles. It can be said that if there's not so much power, block the attack for him. This punch is enough to make him seriously injured. Cracking! Jojo screamed and tried his best to make up the cost and fly over the void, catching the small, invincible figure. Who made you come? Who will let you come? I can die, but you are the flesh of Lone Fay. How can I let you have an accident? Jojo is angry, but in my eyes, it is all distressed. A small, invincible mouth. Aunt, if the old man knows, I let you fight alone, but I hide behind and watch. I am afraid that in the future, I will never see my face again. My dragon family, you can die, but can't be embarrassed, said the little invincible. Chapter 46-41. Chapter 46-41. The little invincible eyes are clear, leaning on Jojo's arms, saying one word at a time. And Jojo has been crying. She is not afraid of death, but it is meaningless to fear everything you do. In particular, at this time, a small invincible sentence directly touched her heart, and all the experiences of the years have come to the forefront. Afraid, I am not a dragon. In the dictionary of Lone Fay, there is no such word. Dry him. The countless pictures between Muir crossed in front of Jojo's eyes. In the heart of my heart, it is even more invincible for Jojo. At this moment, the small invincible is the mini version of Lone Fay, directly bearing the final sustenance of Jojo's heart. Aunt, don't cry. If you were here, don't want to see you crying. The little invincible said faintly, and there was a determination in the eyes. In addition, he wants to kill me is not that easy. Little invincible said, hard to get up. Little invincible, what are you doing? In an instant, Jojo was stunned. She can be sure that little invincible is no longer fighting. The power of the Zunjia War cannot be melted even by the fire of extinction. Already inhuman. Although the power of the small invincible is violent, it is absolutely impossible to cause any harm to the war of respect in this state. What? Of course it is to do him. Aunt, you're leaving here first. This dog hybrid will be handed over to me. Little invincible said, the tender face, the surviving. A dark breath once again emerged from his body. But Jojo one step back. No, Invincible. Your strength is not an opponent. Go fast. Jojo sounded a meal and directly stopped the little Invincible. Some things don't try, how do you know? I don't believe that there is such an undead existence in the world. Small Invincible said. The suffocation in the eyes rose. The power of sin once again wrapped his body. Then the small Invincible hands scattered, freed the grinding disk, and again circled above the void. At the same time, the little Invincible eyes turned, and the face squeezed a smile. Reincarnation Kai, brush. In an instant, illusory, the channel of the reincarnation flashes in the void. And take them away. This war, I am coming to resist. Small Invincible said, with a wave of hand, a sinful force directly formed a layer of protection, wrapped Jojo's body. Then bring it directly into the reincarnation channel. Do not. Invincible, don't. You are not an opponent. Let me down. Jojo is constantly struggling. However, the Invincible reincarnation road is concise in the ups and downs of Wanjia and has been formed through the convergence of 6 boundaries. Once in the reincarnation, do not look back. In a twinkling of an eye, Jojo's figure was directly invincible and moved out of the cover of the real fire. The next moment, the little Invincible eyes turned and looked at the Zuinjia war. Okay, now I can finally kill it. Little Invincible said a little. The tone is calm. As it has already made up its mind to be desperate and to fight back. Slaying? Ha ha ha, you also match? Small hybrids have to say, so generous, the ambassador is moving. Can you die? Ha ha. Very good. That made it perfect for you today. Give you to die. Wanjia kills, punches the world, kills me. The battle of respect for the border made a roar. The meaning of the killing of the sky broke out in a fist. Boom! A punch broke, and all 6 were beaten directly under the power of this killing and broke. The little Invincible figure retreats. I can't help but spit out a blood in my mouth. He is the emperor in the palm of the hand. Everything is his root. Now that these 6 collapses, he is naturally also implicated. Small Invincible eyes are stubborn. He did not expect that his strongest means in front of this person could not be defeated. A punch was exploded 6 times, equivalent to directly asking him half-life. But Small Invincible, no remorse, no fear in the eyes, except for the sin of the epic. There is only one persists. It seems that there is a belief in the midst of it that makes him face fear. Even if it is dead, it will never shrink. Oh, I don't know what to do. Sure enough, Laozi is a beast, and his son is also a scorpion. Belief? Are you afraid of death? Really, cow? No wonder that you must take your own hands and put you to death. The battle of respect for the border made the eyes cold, and after a fist fell, he said coldly. Even the killing in his heart was stimulated to the peak because of his invincible eyes. Must I? The existence of a small Invincible has made him feel jealous. Even now the killing is all under his control. But he feels that if there is enough time for a small Invincible, there will be no place for him to stand in the future. Even Lien Zuinjia will face an extinction disaster. Thinking of this, the Zuinjia war made the 12 rays flash in the pupils and finally overlapped. Kill! The Zuinjia war made the shot, and the horror killing condensed a punch and fell again from the sky. Small Invincible, facing the void. Little body, not moving, looking at the punch that fell from above the void. Double fists and a grip. Come on, it is death. I will let you know. My dragon family, there is no such thing. The reincarnation is one. The Emperor is open. In my name, I am alive, and I will never give up. Give me a burst. Angrily screamed. Small and invincible, roaring like a small universe. The whole body is full of the power of endless reincarnation. The opportunity is sin. Between the negligence, above the void behind him, a blood-colored figure rises up, and there is a scarlet outside the body. On the small and invincible body, countless blood has become blood-stained under the pressure of this extreme power. Hey, small, invincible, weak, the bones are cracked. It seems that it is no longer able to withstand this power. The expression of a small invincible is even more incomparable, as if this pain has exceeded his tolerance. However, he is still tolerant. In the distance, the Zuinjia war makes the eyes flash in the eye. Reincarnation? The emperor of the ancient world? I don't think you have a lot of power. But unfortunately, today you will die. Not only you, but even the people you want to protect behind you. You can't live. Chun Shirquan, give me away. The battle of respect for the border made another punch. The previous punch was also slammed at this moment. Above the void, the emperor suddenly rushed out of the void, pushing his hands together and resisting the punch of the Zuinjia war. Hey, booming. However, even so, the body of this emperor is still losing ground and can't resist it. At this time, the battle of respect for the border made the second fist come down. Boom! A loud noise. I saw that above the void, the power of the reincarnation was directly cracked, and the body of the emperor was pierced. It is small and invincible also at this moment. Like rootless duckweed, lost all the power to support. The body has also become a blood man, falling from the void. Chapter 46-42. Chapter 46-42. Everything is quiet, and the sky is silent. This war is too tragic. It is not difficult to get to the extent that they are at the same level. The battle between the two sides is also a victory between the hands. Ha ha ha, is that the case? Do you dare talk about this? You can't keep it. The whole world who dares to rebel against the world. The result is like this, a dead end. The battle of respect for the border makes a big laugh, as if everything is under their control. Especially now, the small invincible has been drowned. As long as you punch another punch, it will be completely annihilated. By then, there is really no one in the Phoenix world who can stop them from killing. In an instant, you can perish. At that time, it is time for them to start a feast. All the Phoenix blood, the unwillingness and sadness of all people after death, will become the source of their strength. And between the words, the Zuinjia war, at this time, step by step. Between the steps, go directly to the small, invincible place above the void. Hey! At this moment, the self-protecting master of the grinding disc is released from the sky. But it didn't help at all. Perhaps at other times, the release of the grinding disc can be regarded as a big killer to suppress the heavens. However, in the face of this moment, under the force of the murderous battle of the Zuinjia war, it is completely unable to withstand it. When he was not near, he was already blocked by the atmosphere of the Zuinjia, and he was isolated from his body. Hey! Hey! On the top of the squeegee, there was a rush of humming sound, which was spinning at a rapid speed. Boom! The last loud bang broke out. I saw the detachment of the grinding disc and directly blew it. And the power of this horrible self-destruction is to instantly wrap the body of the Zuinjia war. It's only a moment. Among the endless amount of crushing pressure, the voice of the Zuinjia war reappeared. Ha ha ha, idiot. Your master has been beaten by me, like a dead dog, and there is no power to fight back. A weapon want to stop me? This power is simply too weak. In front of me, it is a slag. The battle of respect for the border made cold and cold. Immediately, with both hands, the amount of pressure on all the detached grinding discs dissipated. In the Zuinjia war, then one-step volley against the small invincible punch again. Below has become a small invincible man, still staring hard at the void. In the scorpion, there is no remorse and avoidance. As he said initially, even if the war is dead, it does not escape. Go to hell. The battle of respect for the border made the hard and cold, and the fist fell. Boom! The violent killing directly annihilates the void. At this moment, all power is invisible. Everything is described in the face of this power. There is no barrier at all, and the battle of respect for the battle has already fallen. Rumble, rumble. At this moment, the 10 real fires collapsed, dying in the void. The small invincible under this boxing is even more painful at this time. However, he still has not avoided any flash. In the dawn, still strong. seeing death. Yes, just in this moment, it will soon fall in front of a small Invincible. The change is sudden. Between the millennium and the hair, the small Invincible under the void violently explored a pair of big hands, directly tossed the small Invincible body. Then, a portal appeared. Boom! The portal stood on the ground and stirred up the universe, and then disappeared. However, a figure appeared quietly. In an instant, the battle of respects makes the face change. But immediately, it restored nature. Who are you? Dare to intervene in the matter of respecting the world. Do not want to live? Azunjia War said. In front of him, that figure is not reasonable. Instead, I look at the people in my arms and my eyes are dignified. Can you die? Who taught you this? Long Fei asked. Yes, this person is Long Fei. There's an arbitrary door. He had already made his first shot in the Invincible before he arrived. Seeing Jojo's blood, seeing a small Invincible. At that moment, his heart was already burning in anger. Yes, I still have to endure it. Nothing else, just for a small Invincible sentence cannot die, deeply stimulate his heart. Moreover, it was also stopped by the system sister. It is said that it is a transformation. The power of small Invincible is too noisy, need a nirvana, need a rebirth, in order to truly die and then survive, break, and stand. The key is Jojo's Tears of Phoenix. Therefore, Long Fei collected the Phoenix tears before and then waited for the torment, watching the small Invincible to fight. Daddy, you are finally here. Before you die, see you again. Invincible enough. It's a pity that I can't accompany the old man to fight for the world. But after the old man will serve the town of Wanjia, don't forget to come here again and sacrifice my soul. Small Invincible hard to open. Every time I say a word, my body will weaken. By the end of the last sentence, the whole person has reached the edge of sudden death, and the vitality of the whole body has dissipated. There is only one pair of scorpions left, barely looking at the void. At this moment, Long Fei's heart was like a knife. He even hates himself. If you appear earlier, do not choose to listen to the system sister. Let the little Invincible rebirth. So now, small Invincible will not suffer such pain. Master now. But at this time, in the mind, the voice of the system sister appeared. Long Fei suddenly woke up, awakened from sorrow and self-blame, and jerked. Immediately, a drop of crystal phoenix tears appeared in the hands of Long Fei, and then slowly zoomed in. The small and invincible body, under the control of Long Fei, slowly vacated. Finally, I was directly into the phoenix tears. Hey! At this moment, in the moment when the little Invincible figure did not enter the phoenix tears, the entire phoenix tears are frozen directly. Then there was a trace of power in the moment. 6. The sin of the opportunity, the law of the emperor, the power of all the Invincible, directly on the phoenix tears, and then turned into a little blue ice flame visible to the naked eye, began to integrate into the small Invincible body among them. Master, let the little masters get into the space. The road to nirvana has begun. When the little masters are born again, the power will change dramatically. The system sister said, and Long Fei, but slightly shaking his head. I used to give the way to the road, so naturally you can't be thin. But now, my power for eternal life is limited. You can only make up for it with the power of this boss. Long Fei said faintly. His eyes turned and locked the battle of respect. Finally, I reached out and explored the small Invincible that had been frozen and reborn. I gazed deeply and said, my son Long Fei can die. However, this is not enough. I'm a son of Long Fei, not dead, not awkward. When everything is destroyed, the enemy, Long Fei whispered, and immediately held a fist, and the backhand was a punch. Chapter 46-43. Chapter 46-43. Hey. A punch swayed, and it broke. This punch has exceeded the limits that the Phoenix world can bear. The 10-party real fire, under this fist, completely disappeared. When the boxing wind passed, everything disappeared. The battle of respect for the world is even under this boxing, and the face becomes distorted. A illusory shadow, overlapping and overlapping. Finally, 1 point is 12, directly beaten by a punch. Do not. It is impossible to do this. Who are you? Several voices appeared. Very shocking. They never thought about it, and at this time, they will suddenly change. Moreover, it is simply the power they can't compete with. A punch. Even the fire of extinction, even the power of 6, has no power. Under this fist, it was directly blasted. Long Fei is some kind of cold, killing the sky. If we say that the meaning of killing the war by the Xuanjiao War is a stormy wave, then Long Fei, now it is a blast. The wind is rushing to the sea, and the rain is falling. In contrast, Long Fei's killing, repressive power to destroy the Xuanjiao War. Be better than killing? You are still too far away. It's not a lot of killing, it's awesome. It's too weak. In front of me, your strength weak and poor. Long Fei said coldly. The original did not move back, because just a moment ago, the Xuanjiao War was just force to force. Self-righteous is high. And Long Fei, what is to be done now is to drop the other party to the cloud. In time, the battle of respect for the world made the face extremely embarrassing. On the one hand, it is shameful, but more it is fear. Reverse, who is the courage to give you? Dare to wait for me to wait? Don't you be afraid of my respect for the world and raising your world? The Xuanjiao War said. As I said, I tried to overlap again. At this moment, they are for Long Fei. An instinctive fear has been born. A fist can collapse their power. This kind of strength, in addition to respect, has never been done. Therefore, at the moment they only overlap, there is a chance. Even, you will not hesitate to move out the honor to threaten Long Fei. Unfortunately, they found the wrong person. Not to mention the threat of respect. Even if the respect is really in front of you, Long Fei will not have the slightest regress. Afraid? Huh. Long Fei laughed and asked, I will be afraid of respect? Afraid? It doesn't exist at all. As early as before, when Long Fei was fighting for one person and conquering Wanjia, he and Jinyi were not dead. Even when he was shot, when he killed the emperor and made a stalk. Between the two, it is already dead. Only one can live. Guan Nima is the lord of the world, or the respect of the supreme. For Long Fei, there is only one concept that is indistinguishable. That is the boss, the enemy. It is one the death lists. And between the words, the atmosphere of Long Fei is also growing. Without saying a word, the power of eternal life is infiltrated through the body of the fourth grade. Finally, Long Fei's voice has not fallen. A few people have reached an unbearable level. Hey, and even 12, one is not spared. However, their bodies are already condensed with endless killings, and there is no flesh and blood at all. At this moment, even if it is crushed by the atmosphere of the dragon, it is just the passing of the meaning of killing. However, this passing is equally deadly for them. I saw only 12 people, one was bleak than one, struggling to get rid of the oppression of Long Fei. However, it has no effect at all. In front of Long Fei, they have a sense of sight of their fingers and thighs. The feeling of powerlessness deeply soaked their souls. No, it's impossible. How can you have this power in an ancient world? I don't believe. I must have used some mystery. Yes, it must be a secret surgery. After a while, you will lose power and see how you die. Several respected wars made the opening. The panic in my heart has not been added. Even this self-deceptive idea has come to comfort yourself. And Long Fei, the smile on his face, is getting colder and colder. Hey, Long Fei stepped forward. The pressure of terror is even more rampant. Boom! For a moment, the 12 bodies were directly bombarded by this pressure, and they landed on the void. This time, it made the 12 people almost lost half of their lives. But at this time, Long Fei stopped. Mystery? It's ridiculous. In the respect of the world, it is just a clown of you. Since you think this is a mystery, then Laozi will give you a chance. Let's merge. Long Fei said faintly. The corners of the eyes are endless. And this sentence, for the 12 people, is a life-saving straw. Suddenly looked up. I don't have to wait for Long Fei to say that one by one is directly overlapping again. In a twinkling of an eye, as before, the fire of Qiao Qiao was destroyed. A body of 12 people combined to reproduce the human world. And Long Fei, the smile of the corner of his mouth is more concentrated. Kid, I don't believe it. We have 12 people to merge, but I can't help you. The world. Take the sky. The Zuanjia War made a three-faced burst of drink. 3 punches were made between them. These 3 punches are the most powerful forces after the integration of the Zuanjia War. It can be said that a punch is over a punch, and a punch is more violent than a punch. In the end, the power of the 3 punches is unique, breaking through the void and going straight to Long Fei. But Long Fei's face did not change at all. Looking at the power of this fusion, do not retreat, take a step, and between this step, Long Fei's lips, also faintly creeping, whispered, "Invincible punch." Boom. Rumble. Rumble. In an instant, the 2 forces broke out above the void. Very incomparable. The entire Phoenix world was shocked by this punch. Even the enchantment arranged by Jojo was shocked, and Li Yuanba and others resumed their freedom at this moment. Great. No matter who it is, if there is anything wrong with the big brother, I will fight for it. Kill. A few King Kong and Li Wuxin and others are also rushing into the void. However, before he entered the battlefield, he was blocked by Jojo's flame. Great. Great. Jojo. In an instant, everyone was pleasantly surprised. However, I changed my mind and felt the battle in the distance. I thought of a small Invincible in my mind, and I was shocked by the moment. At this moment, Jojo said faintly, "You don't have to go." He came. Everyone has a glimpse. But in an instant, I understand who Jojo is talking about. All of a sudden, the eyes are full of light. Ha ha ha. Is the boss coming? As long as the boss is there is no uncertainty. We can rest assured. Hey, it's really a father and son. Li Yuanba and Zhang Yu said that they were all in a row. The hearts of the people were also overwhelmed by the excitement. However, no one noticed the loss and blame on Jojo's face. The picture is turned again at this time in the battlefield. The power of terror dissipated, revealing the flying figure of Long Fei. In contrast, the Zuanjia War, but it is directly stagnant above the void. Among the eyes, it is full of shock and fear, and his chest has been pierced. No, impossible. Why do you? The war of respect is said, but without a word, the body collapses. The roar of the sky. Chapter 46-44. Chapter 46-44. Falling into the stars, the fire fell. The depressions after the war were scattered around. In the midst of silence, the figure of Long Fei has become the eternal of this void. Long Fei figure turned to the void, holding hands and carrying the sky. Alone, awkward, and in contrast, under the control, the figure of the Zuanjia War has completely disappeared. Death can't die anymore. It can be said that from the beginning to the end, Long Fei only made this punch. Invincible, punching the enemy. Of course, it is not that the Zuanjia War is not strong. Otherwise, it is impossible for even Jojo to be helpless. Even small invincibles have to fight for life. Can only say that Long Fei is too strong. At this time, Long Fei's eyes were slightly moving, watching the battle of the Zuanjia who had been beaten by a fist, and a smile appeared in the corner of his mouth. Hey, congratulations to the players to kill the bosses. To gain experience, 500, eternal value of 50 points, invincible point. Hey, congratulations to the players for winning the Wanjia. Hey, congratulations to the players for the undead. System sounds constantly appear. And Long Fei, the smile on his face is more intense. Idiot, if you want to marry a boss, Lousy will give time, let you merge. But that's it. Even if it's the boss, it's hard to beat. Long Fei looked at the body of the Zunjian, which was dissipated, and calmly said, "Yes, the Zuanjia War is indeed a boss. However, it is under overlapping conditions. Therefore, Long Fei will give them the opportunity to reintegrate them. For now, it is now." In the next moment, Long Fei's hands flew in power and directly took out the undead method of the boss from the system space. This is a grain, full of killing. However, it is very complicated. Not enough, not enough. Long Fei frowned and said slightly. Immediately, directly take out the power of the Wanjie killing, hold it in the hand, and constantly look at it. Then, the hands suddenly blended. This force can be a unique one. Long Fei sighed. Then, between the blink of an eye, the two forces begin to merge at a speed visible to the naked eye. The lines on the law of indestruction have become clearer and even more violent. Diligent, two interest. It's just 2 moments, and the two forces are completely integrated. They are ringing each other, full of horror. It is Long Fei, and there is some heartbeat to my heart. This power, though not more than the avenue of self-enlightenment. But for small Invincible, it is the most suitable. Because of the small Invincible, this is the Emperor of the Emperor who controls the reincarnation and can talk about the definite person. The fusion of the undead law and the power of killing happens to make the body of the Invincible Emperor, through this power, condense. Instead of the previous ones, only a phantom of the void can be formed. Long Fei's mind was moved, and this force was directly brought into the system space, and then invested in the small Invincible in the nirvana. The eyes were full of expectations. My son, for the father to wait for you to return, Wanjie. A touch of words. Long Fei has no longer hesitated. Return directly to the outside of the system. At this time, above the void, the Qingming has been restored. However, the killing is still going on. Millions of people of Xuanjie are still slaughtering phoenixes. But now, the situation has reversed. Before, because of the Xuanjie War, the big kill special kill. The living forces in the phoenix world have been directly smashed. But now, the war of honor is extinguished. For those who respect the world, there is only infinite horror. Dead? How is this possible? War, isn't it not dead? How could it die? No, escape. Run away. Almost just between arrest. People in the Xuanjie have no time to think too much. This result, they never thought about it. After all, whether it is JoJo or a small Invincible, or the war between the dragon and the defending world, it is not that they can intervene. They don't even have the qualifications to watch. Only, wait for all the dust to settle. They only saw it. However, it is already late. The war of Xuanjie has been extinguished. With them, it is impossible to escape. At this time, above the void, JoJo, Lu Luoxi, King Kong, and Li Wuxin and others also rushed. Boss, Long Fei brother, husband. The sound of the road fell. Everyone came to Long Fei, and they were all excited. Of course, except JoJo, especially at this time, did not see the small Invincible figure. JoJo's eyes are full of rich sadness. Well, you have suffered. This time, I will send you back to the ancient world. As for this, the battle of Wanjie will be handed over to me. Long Fei said indifferently. The color of the face is flashing. He is tired, but can't fall. Nothing else, just for those people in front of him, he must also bear it. Ha ha, boss, what are you talking about? We are brothers, of course. We must be brothers. Yes, the boss pointed out that I am waiting for my body. Even if it is Wanjie, you must overthrow them. Li Yuanba and others are excited to say. After a long absence, Long Fei has already reached a level that they are hard to recognize. This kind of perception makes them excited. The stronger the dragon is, the closer they are to the day they are waiting for. Long Fei smiled and said nothing. After all, only one person knows what the crisis facing the ancient world is. At this time, Lu Luoxi took the lead in reacting. Husband is invincible. The smile on Lu Luoxi's face still exists. Only a few minutes of solidification and even a few minutes of sparkling in the eyes. And JoJo, after this sound, can no longer bear the sadness in his heart. Cried suddenly, covering his face and crying. Brush. For a moment, the joy of all people's faces disappeared, and instead they were full of hatred and sorrow. Long Fei grinned and said, "What are you doing?" Long Fei asked, "Hey, Long Fei brother, I know, little Invincible has an accident. You want to cry and cry. Don't have to bear it. Chow grievances. Full of self-blame. There's a way to see the world before. The 10-party reel fire locks the void. In this moment, Luluo Creek is almost on the verge of collapse. When it was black, it fainted. Fortunately, Longfei's eyes are fast, and Luluo Creek is directly hugged, and then an eternal power is passed. Then, with a look of helplessness, "Who told you that the little invincible happened?" "But yes, it's an accident. But it's a good thing." Longfei said that the small invincible in Nirvana was brought out of the system. "Look, wait for the small invincible to wake up. We'll be in an alternative posture, Cheng-Chi Galaxy." Longfei said, "Everyone shines. The emotional change of heaven, and in an instant, so that a few people feel silent. Especially Jojo and Luluo Creek. They are contemptuous of Longfei." Longfei smiled lightly, put an end to the possibility of a few people attacking, and said, "Well, it is imperative to return to the ancient world first, as for anything else, and later." Longfei said. Chapter 46-45. Chapter 46-45. 3 days later, the ancient world. In the 3 days of the world, Longfei led Lu Luoxi and others to cross the other side of the Xinghe River and return to the ancient world from the Phoenix world. The ancient world at this time is still calm, but faintly can feel that this calm has been shrouded in the storm. But at the same time, the entire ancient world, because of the power of Songqing Avenue, everyone's body is covered with a layer of looming rime. It seems that everyone is like a dragon, and it is imprinted in their bones. The power of totems has been portrayed above their souls. For this change, Longfei is not satisfied. "When I think of the earth, the Chinese civilization has not been passed down for a long time. However, the descendants of a dragon are already the inner pride of every Chinese." Longfei also believes that it will not take long for the old world to mature and the ancient world will usher in a new peak. Everyone is like a dragon and self-improvement. At that time, even if the Promised Temple is committed, Longfei is not afraid. It's like saying that China, regardless of the enemy, is far away. It's a pity that the time is too tight. Zhuangjie will not give him so much time. The Promised Temple, the same will not. Therefore, there is nothing to help. And as the people return, the whole mountain is also full of excitement. It's fun. For Longfei, it is also extremely enjoyable. Even Longfei has an impulse to retreat. However, this idea was directly rejected by Longfei, because at this stage, this idea is simply impossible to achieve. If you don't say anything else, it's faint and respectful. It's already imminent. There is also the threat of the Promised Temple. It is impossible to make Longfei comfortable. In the past 3 days, Longfei did not do anything else. Small wins and new marriages. Longfei naturally does not neglect his own woman. The brothers and other people of Longfei on the Mountain of God will naturally not bother, but quietly retreat and carry out the final ascension. But on the morning of the 4th day, outside the Mountain of God, a group of figures appeared. Not someone else, it is the person of the screen. Longfei heart fretting. The screen master is also in his heart. Only this time, Longfei did not actively seek. In order to fear that the other party will once again be involved in the crisis of the ancient world, I just didn't expect that they would take the initiative to find it. Longfei adults, ancient screens, Miao asked for. Mao Thiao took the initiative to open the door of the mountain. On the top of the mountain, Longfei looked at the face of Ms. Yao. In my heart, while I was thinking about it, Miao Yao couldn't be alive, and he and Mu Yun, as well as the curtains, and Mu Ro and other 7 districts in the North District. Longfei is even more emotional. Time has passed. I'm still myself. Just with them, already 2 people in the world. Of course, Longfei will naturally not wear colored glasses to treat them because of their repairs. Just because, now that the ravages of the ancient world have come, Longfei does not want to involve them in the storm. Again, this time behind the curtain Yao, they all came. Whether the disaster of a world, even if it is escaping, cannot be avoided. It's better to let them know and make better choices. Longfei thought of it. Immediately, the figure flashed, and it has already come outside the Mountain of God. Brush it, seeing the emergence of Longfei, headed by Miao Yao. Everyone kneels down directly. There is no exception to Mu Yun. Longfei looked in his eyes and reached out to stop. But half of it stretched out, but it was fixed in the air. In the end, Longfei sighed. "Get up," Longfei said faintly. He knows that from this moment on, his cause and effect with the master are broken. In a twinkling of an eye, the fans got up and Mu Yun was even more excited. He wanted to say hello, but when he spoke to his mouth, he didn't speak, and he was blocked by others. Mu Yun's face flashed a lost, but in the end it was back. All of this, Longfei is in the eyes, but it has not stopped. Dragon flying adult, this time, there is one thing I want to sue adults. Mouth Yao said openly, extremely calm. Even though I know that between now and Longfei, it is already a world apart, but still not humble. Longfei nodded slightly. I don't think this woman still has a few brushes. Longfei thought of it. This is also the reason why Mu Yao was chosen as the master of the screen. And the talent of Makuya is also good. During this period of time, the cultivation has also been greatly improved. It can be said that the entire screen under her control has recovered a few points. One thought about this, Longfei said, "You and I are the family, not so polite, what is the matter, just say." Longfei said. Miao Yao slightly fixed his mind and looked at Longfei. He said, "It doesn't matter. This time, I came to Mount Kinabalu. It was the entrustment of the adults who had been ravaged by the dragons. Let's look for the dragon market. There is news now. This is to inform the adults." Miao Yao said, "A dragon flies. Dragon market?" The face is arrogant. It is completely ignorant. When I first entered the ancient world, I did not spend much time and was directly chased into the unknown land of chaos. Even the gods of the dragon space have not taken a place. It can be said that in the ancient world of god space, Longfei is simply a fog. Now I heard the purpose of Makwa, and it was related to Longfei. In the heart of Longfei, it was naturally moving. Yes, it is the dragon market. Rumors, the last mysterious land with the shadow of dragon heaven. Mouth Yao said. His expression was firm. And Longfei, the heart is more shock at this moment. Dragon Ba Tian? Longfei asked sharply. The heart vibrates again. It's a matter of tyrants. There's never been a trifle. Even if Longfei is now tyrannical to the king of the world, the backhands will be able to destroy the world. But for Longbation, I still don't dare to take it lightly. He always has a feeling that Dragon Heaven is always in his body and never leaves. Especially at this moment, Miao Yao mentioned the dragon market, and Longfei felt that a hidden force in the body flashed past. This makes Longfei more convinced. Dragon Ba Tian, still, even said that Longbation is extremely eager for this dragon market. As originally, I felt the existence of Yuan Feng, exposing an extremely greedy emotion. Yes, rumors, the dragon market contains the opportunity before the dragon tyrants. So, after the screenkeepers found out, if they dare not go deep, they will come to the false report. Miao Yao said. Longfei nodded slightly. He knows that the reason why Miao Yao said this is an absolute surrender. Possibly it was because of the war of the fans. The result was really too heavy. Let them all grow up quickly. Therefore, for Longfei, there is only absolute surrender and obedience. In fact, you don't have to, but this decision is good. Dragon market, not as simple as you think. But rest assured, there is a chance in the dragon market. Longfei said faintly. For the screen, his instinct will naturally be biased. He is not a saint. The curtain house is for him, and he is defeated and ruined. Longfei is now a king of the world, and naturally he will not let it go. Chapter 46-46. Chapter 46-46. Outside the ancient world, in the middle of the universe. The Statue of Honor is standing still. Behind him, it is the army of the world. At this moment, the statue of the statue is a stone's throw away from the phoenix. Looking at the ruined phoenix world, only the war and the phoenix fire burned. The vision of esteem is extremely cold. The war is all gone. The phoenix world is not so strong. Even if the woman gets the power of Yuan Feng, it is impossible to have such a means. Dragonfly, it must be this dog thing. It is really to let the deity look at it. I knew that in the ancient world, I should have ignored so much. I would like to directly fight Avatar, and I will kill you. Incomparable Haze, strong as he is, naturally able to perceive that the Zuinjio War has been tragic. Even he attempted to restore the original battle with the supreme means. However, if it was not used, it stopped. Can even the world of the Phoenix world be erased? Some means, if this is the case, then the world will not stay. Respect for the face, a cold, a palm shot. Immediately, a huge palm emerges directly above the starry sky. Across 1,000,000 miles. From a distance, it is simply able to cover the entire Phoenix world. Boom! Above the giant palm, the golden light, the palm of the hand fell directly. Rumble. Everything, an indescribable bang, is directly in the void. In the roar, the entire Phoenix community collapsed under this palm. Countless boulders were through the air, and the waves are shocked, collapsed above the void. And respect, but at this moment, and with respect, the palm will be withdrawn. The entire Phoenix world was also completely burst. A loud noise blasted directly. Just like being pinched, it is completely turned into hundreds of millions of powders crushing the void. One palm is destroyed. Strong and horrible. Oh, it's the fate of the world. The next step is the ancient world. Zune faintly said. At this time, his gaze is far away, directly penetrating the distance of billions of light years, locking the ancient world. As long as he thinks, it will take less than a day to get to the ancient times. But at this time, Junyi did not have any further plans. The army of the Wansho behind him has long been obeyed in the bones of the emperor and even directly stopped in the void. The glory of the eyes turned, and the color of the haze in the eyes flashed past. Who is it? I've been waiting for the deity for so long, still not showing up? And outside the void, at this moment, there's also a wave of fluctuations. Brush the brush. Brush it. 6 light and shadows have come. The master of the respected world, the strength is not weak. The head of the person said, this person is full of light, and a luster will cover the whole body. It is respect and can't be worn. Mysterious. Pretend to play with ghosts. Swear by the deity, still not showing up. Looking for death. The voice of the deity is cold, and then both hands are explored. I want to hold the person in front of me. Yes, an unexpected scene happened. This hand directly penetrates the other's body. Just like wearing nothing, nothing is attacked. In an instant, the face of the face changed dramatically. Impossible. Unbelievable. One of his palms can destroy one world. But at this moment, even a figure in front of him could not grasp. So how can he believe? Don't waste your energy. You're not weak, but it is only relative. I am outside the universe, the power in the universe. Why not us? In the light, one of the 6-headed people said, outside the universe? Inside the universe? Who are you? The face of Zune has become very strong. Even said that it is extremely embarrassing, because in this world, he is the master. At this moment, in the other's words, it is like the king of the mountain who is king. The ants are awkward and self-proclaimed. This makes the heart of the proud and proud. How can accept? Who am I? You don't need to know. You just need to know that the purpose of my visit is your chance. But as time you can't catch it, it's up to you. The person who spoke first said, and immediately the figure suddenly flashed, directly facing the front. In respect, but it seems that the reaction is not over. I was wrapped up in a body and disappeared directly. Ancient world. Long Fei took Li Yuanba and Zhao Beibinghuo, as well as Li Wuxin and Yao Yao, and a few people in Muyun, looking for the dragon market. At this point, they have come to the dragon. It can be said that this is a place of the world. At the beginning, Long Fei and Xian Emperor did not affect the dragon. Even in the next few battles, the dragons did not show up. It can be said that there's a chance to recuperate. Long Fei adults. Here is Long Meishan. Mu Yao said, still very respectful. Zhang Mouth is an adult. Although Long Fei's heart feels a little helpless, he has not paid too much attention. Instead, I looked at the Longmai mountain in front of me. Millions of miles. Hundreds of mountains. It could be said that the imperial palace before the Xian family cannot match. It can be seen that when the dragon is at its peak, it is more powerful. It's just a pity that the dragon tyrants were defeated and the dragons and gods were lost. The dragons were really defeated, but the dragon maiden but vaguely can show the glory of the dragon. Let's go. Since I've been here, I have to go and see the status of the dragons. Longfei said faintly, "Cannot wait to enter the Longmai Mountain." A sound of dragons suddenly burst out from the dragon veins. Then, among the two dragon caves closest to Longfei, two white dragons suddenly flew between them. Expensive. The sound of the dragon sings through the sky is thorough and resounds throughout the dragon mountain. But Longfei, silently, show Longwei in front of him. It is simply a big knife in front of Guangong. As for the dragon flying behind, the person who knows the identity of Longfei is even more smiling. Especially the Miao Yao, it is even cold. There were several wars between the screen makers and the dragons, and because of the curtains. If it is not the identity of Longfei, maybe will not come here. Who? Do you dare to marry me, Dragon Mountain? Well, the logo of the screen maker? Is this going to die? Two white dragons hovered above the void, a staring stare at Longfei and others. The expression is arrogant, still high, contempt for sentient beings. Longfei's mouth smirked, faintly looked up. It seems that the dragons are not as ugly as they think. All the turtles are shrinking. Is it so proud? Longfei said. In this sentence, let the two white dragons completely violent. Let's go. What are you, my dragon? Is also you can say 3 to 4. Dog stuff. The curtain house is eating a bear heart and a leopard, and even came to my dragon to provoke. Call people. Two white dragons screamed loudly, and then a sound of dragons appeared. Roar. Violent. And this sound is like a signal. Then the Longmai Mountain was completely rioted. Among the countless dragon caves, they vibrate at the same time. One after another, the dragons flew out from the dragon caves. Chapter 46-47. Chapter 46-47. Wanlong vibrates. The momentum is vast. A big squad. Li Yuanba stepped forward. The eyes are full of ridicule, extremely disdainful, although the dragon is strong and strong. However, in the face of absolute repair, everything is a joke. Not to mention that the dragons are now the highest, but the Super 6 is super successful. Even if they are strong, they're not afraid. It's ridiculous. It's like a dog in front of Xian Emperor. It's so cohesive now, it's so ridiculous. This is the spirit. Tianling and Longfei have been crawling up from the small world. For the dragons to be rebellious, the dog that became the emperor of the emperor has long been clear. Even under the leadership of the dragon without God, it is considered an enemy. But that's it. Now it's a look of the same enemy to target Longfei. This is the place where Tianling really feels shameless. Not to mention that it is Tianling, and that people such as Miao Yao have already stopped looking. The dragons have done what they have done these years, and they all look in their eyes. In front of the Emperor Xian, he bowed his knees, living the dragons into a dog family. Faithful. Now, the Emperor Xian is extinguished, but in turn, dare to expose the dragon to the fangs. It's ridiculous. With this in mind, Makwa couldn't help but scream. I don't think so. After many years, I can see the dragon as such a hegemon. It's a pity that you never know how big a mistake you are making. Makwa said sarcastically. She can see it. Longfei came to Longmai Mountain this time, purely wanting to give the dragon a chance. After all, fundamentally speaking, Longfei is also a dragon. Unfortunately, the current dragons are stupid. It was actually forced in front of Longfei. Let's go. You're a little girl. Dare to yell? Sinful of you? You're a fart. The mysterious family is gone, and my dragon will return to dominance. How long will it take? My dragon patriarch will find the strength left by the ancestors. When the time comes, don't say anything about the screen. Even if the mysterious family is not destroyed, it is the same, a dead end. Bai Long is at the top, he said. The expression of tone is extremely arrogant. Don't look at Longfei and others at all. Longfei, however, is scornful and chuckles. Although he's also a dragon, it is fair. The current dragons still have nothing to offer, except for being too arrogant. Nothing. For such a dragon, Longfei was very disappointed. At least, before this, Longfei still held fantasy and thought about the 12 dragon ancestors and so on, accompanied him to rise all the way, and eventually sacrificed himself. Even if you look at these feelings, Longfei will take care of the dragons. It will also give the dragons chance. But now, completely disappointed, looking at the overwhelming, arrogant dragon, Longfei's heart moved. A thought of clearing the dragons above the heart flashed past. At this time, a purple dragon flew out from the depths of Longmai Mountain. This dragon is out, Wanlong is easy. At the same time, Wanlong roared and roared, just like the king. And Longfei, his eyes flashed a sigh at this time. Purple dragon? Longfei directly thought of the dragon without God. Because the dragon is godless, it is a purple dragon. Among the dragons, the ranks are sensational. White dragon is only the lowest existence. White dragon, black dragon, dragon, horn dragon, silver dragon, green dragon, and then red dragon and golden dragon. The purple dragon is even above these. Of course, there's a more noble existence on top of this. That is the dragon ancestors. On top of that, it is the dragon of dragon heaven. However, in the ages among the dragons, there is no such supremacy. Purple dragon is already at the highest level. At the moment, a purple dragon was found at this time, which immediately attracted Longfei's gaze. Siju Xian Tianxia. At this time, Wanlong worshipped. Zilong soared above the void and finally became an adult. A purple-scaled cloak clothes. At first glance, it is a supreme treasure. Make this person look and stand out. A group of waste. Just a few people will scare you into this look. Don't forget, my dragon family is going to be the kingdom and become the hegemon. Some people are provocative, just kill it. Also use the summoning Wanlong, said the purple shirt youth. A look of anger. High-spirited, angry with Wanlong. However, Wanlong has not dared to refute. Blood is everything. In front of Zilong, they're destined to surrender. At this time, the two white dragons that were first summoned suddenly said, His Royal Highness, they are not others. They're all people of the screen. I suspect that they're coming to marry me to inherit the power of Longmai Mountain. Bai Long pointed to Longfei and others and said, And this is called the purple youth of His Royal Highness, with a pair of eyes. The man of the curtained house? The grandfather of the wild species? I even dare to come to my dragon mountain, really looking for death. Long Yuxin said. However, what he did not know was that his fate was already doomed when this sentence came out. Below, in the eyes of Longfei, the suffocation increased, and beside him, Li Yuanba is even more angry. What dog things, no tigers in the mountains, monkeys call the king. Zilong also dare to call the king? I am. Garbage, because you dare to arrogant in front of my boss? Stupid. Li Yuanba violently opened. He is the of power. This is very violent. Now I heard the dragon scorpion in front of me and turned to insult Longfei. Can't bear it directly. Going forward, the opening will be embarrassing. And Miao Yao, at this time, is also a sneer. If you said that, the dragons still have a chance. So now, I was killed by Long Yuxin. She is very clear that Longfei is so arrogant in his heart that he is not afraid of it. It has always been the master of horizontal pushing. Can you accept such insults from others? Impossible. Instinctively, she took a step back. Give the battlefield to Longfei. But Longfei, there is no plan to shoot, just because they don't match. And Long Yuxian, who was so stunned by the big man, was even more angry. Looking for death, I don't know what to do. I dare to be so arrogant in my Longmai Mountain. I swallowed him. Long Yin said with anger. And as one sentence fell, Wanlong roared and rolled the void. The dragon's torso hovered down from the dragon's macaque. Immediately, the sky is discolored, and the wind and thunder are added. However, there is no change in the face of Li Yuanba. There's been no activity for a long time. Just right, taking advantage of today, let the boss see it. You can fight. Li Yuanba laughed. The double axe is out of one hand and flies above the void. At this time, a black dragon has already soared, and Li Yuanba has a fierce impact. Li Yuanba is also unambiguous and directly hit the past. Then the axe fell. Hey, an axe falls, heaven and earth. Chapter 46-48. Chapter 46-48 Rumble. The dragon squatted on the ground and was directly shackled by Li Yuanba. Hey! For a moment, Wanlong snorted and brushed the brush. Very scared. Who are they? They are dragons. Even if it is a black dragon, the body is extremely powerful. Even if it is only ancient, but capable of repairing, the defense of the flesh is that it can be hardened by super perfection. But now, in front of Li Yuanba, it is like a melon, and it will be killed in an instant. Although the black dragon is the most ethnic of their dragons, the natural flesh of the dragon has inherited a few points. So for a moment, Wanlong stopped and did not dare to go forward. Okay, a big dog Gaul. Dare to kill my dragon in front of the temple? On all for me. One person spits and has to drown him. Long Inxian screamed. Boom. In an instant, Wanlong became very incomparable again. Even if he is jealous of Li Yuan, at this time, under the command of Long Yuxian, he does not dare to disobey. In an instant, they swept again, and Li Yuanba but ha-ha smiled. Ha-ha-ha happy. Slayer Dragon. Although the boss is also a dragon, but you're a group of dragons, not worthy of a dragon. Give me death. Li Yuan screamed with anger, directly mad, incarnation of the 2-meter mad war, above the bald head, reflecting the cold light of the axe in his hand, and fierce, reflecting the sky. Cut. Li Yuanba instantly rushed into the Wanlong center. The body is wide open and big, and with the power of the flesh, it is hard against the collision of Wanlong. It's not awkward, it's dry. Directly face to face is to cut. Hey! Boom! Hey! One axe followed by an axe. Li Yuanba killed a mad war. The more the killing, the stronger the meaning of the mad war on the body. Killing is even more slick, and between the hand and the hand, a dragon is beheaded. As for the level, does not exist. Even if it is Qing Long, it can only hit Li Yuanba's body for a few meters. Even the fur can be hurt. In Li Yuanba, the backhand is an axe falling. Hey! Hey! There was a terrible scream of screams in the void. I saw the axe blade in the hands of Li Yuanba, and directly picked out the dragon ribs. Ha ha ha, cool. This is the dragon? Do you still want to be dominant? Still dare to speak out and insult my boss? I really don't know how to live and die. Li Yuanba laughed. In the distance, Long Yinxian's face has become very strong. Even there is faint fear. I'm already a little scared in my heart. Who are you? You are definitely not a master of the screen. The curtain is not so powerful. Who are you? Long Yuxian sounded hoarse and looked at Li Yuanba with a heavy face. But Li Yuanba did not answer at all. Between the backhands, once again killed a dragon, then turned and left. The rest of the dragon is a loose heart. I thought I had escaped the robbery. But in the next moment, a contiguous dragon screams again. And Long Yuxian, this time, really panic. No, do not want. Don't kill anymore. Who are you? Who are you? The dragon's footsteps are constantly retreating. In the scene that happened in front of him, he cannot think of it at all. Because Li Yuanba is gone, it is not the end. It starts. I saw after Li Yuanba, Tianling, Lin Yusheng, Black Knife, Li Wuxin, Zhang Yuan by one, each shot between the backhands, killing hundreds of thousands of dragons. Then he turned around. Just a blink of an eye, the entire dragon vein up and down are dyed red by dragon blood. However, after all, it did not kill them. Although it is not to say that the dragons are hurting, the massacre is enough to make Long My Mountain feel pain. On the other hand, Long Fei, silently. There is not even a wave in my heart. He is a heavy dragon, but not a rare dragon. Such a dragon has lost the dragon's arrogant quality under the guidance of the dragon. It is no longer worthy of being a dragon. To put it bluntly, there is a dragon body and no dragon soul. Originally, Long Fei did not intend to eliminate it so thoroughly. However, when Long Yinxian appeared, Wanlong surrendered. This tens of thousands of dragons and corpses of dragon veins. It is already a foregone conclusion. At this time, when the last person around returned, Long Fei also moved. Between the steps on the empty sky, looking at the fear of the dragon's mouth appeared to sneer. Call, come, then call. Are you not very arrogant? Not, your highness. As for your bag, do you still expect the dragon to return to the hegemon? Moron. Long Fei did not hide it, and roared. Kid, who are you? You dare to let go of my dragon vein mountain. I'm not afraid of my family return. Will you kill you? Long Yuxian endured the fear of his heart and said. Long Fei looked at Long Shaoxian with a funny face and looked at his eyes. Homeowner, is the dragon godless? It seems that he is still alive. However, it is just alive. He is not alive. How can I still have a chance to slay the dragons? Long Fei said, pressing hard. Boom! Step out. The body of the power of creation, directly sweeping away from the void. Rumble, rumble. This breath is extremely violent, with Long Fei as the center, and the violent laps go out. Randomly, hundreds of thousands of Long Mation directly began to roar and finally collapsed directly, becoming a ruin. In the dragon cave, a dragon has not had time to react, and it has been wiped away by the shocking pressure. In the rear, Miao Yao and others watched Long Fei show their powers, and their eyes were splendid. I rely on it, and Long Fei is too powerful. There hasn't been a shot yet. Is this dragon family so gone? If you shoot, isn't it falling into the sky? Muyin said. Shut up, Muyin. You have to know that it is your blessing to have a relationship with Long Fei adults. However, the adults that Long Fei has to face are not simple dragons. So, it is the best help we give him to be safe. Understand? Muyin's voice just fell, and Miao Yao screamed. Muyin stunned and immediately looked at Long Fei. It seems that a major decision has been made. After a slight dim in the eyes, it has regained its brilliance. You can rest assured that if I can't walk with him, I will never be his obstacle. In the past, I will bury my heart and wait for him to win a big victory. I believe that I can still make wine. Muyin said. The 7 people behind the curtain, such as Xiao Xiao, are also so expressions. These words, when I heard Li Yuanba in other people's ears, were also slightly wrong, some regret, but more heavy. Of course, all of this has never been seen before. Long Fei's eyes were slightly moving, and he sighed slightly and looked back at the dragon in front. Now, have you ever known who I am? A touch of words. But this sentence, for Long Yuxian, is a blue sky. The whole person was soft on the ground. His face was pale, and he did not even have the courage to escape. But at this time, in the depths of Long My Mountain, a sound of dragons and snarls roared. Which dog thing that doesn't have long eyes dare to come to my dragon veins and wild? The voice is angry and full of gas. And Long Fei suddenly looked up, because the Lord finally came. Chapter 46-49. Chapter 46-49. Purple Light Sky. Soaring in the sky. The people of Li Yuanba also reacted in an instant, and they must come forward. But it was stopped by Long Fei. Long Fei gently waved his hand. No, this cause and effect. I came to the end. Long Fei said. Immediately, the gaze looked above the void. Roar! The dragons were shocked, and even the heavens and the voids were shaken. Long Fei's gaze is also a slight glimpse. From the beginning of the dragon, until now, but the time of the blink of an eye, but the dragon godless figure has crossed tens of thousands of miles. Moreover, such a distance can burst out such a powerful long way, and it is indeed expected by Long Fei. But Long Fei still has no action. Stand upright and wait quietly. It is like a supreme king waiting for the sinner. At this time, Long Yuxianzhang laughed wildly. Ha ha ha, Long Fei, you are a little hybrid. My father has returned, and when my father returns, you will die. Dog things, like your father, are all kinds of things. Long Yuxianzhang laughed wildly. The eyes are full of embarrassment. Long Fei's eyes turned. Things that are unsightly. Give you a face? I don't want to shoot you because you don't deserve it. But since you're looking for death yourself, then lousy will fulfill you. Long Fei sounds cold and cold. He hates this kind of person who is high on himself and who he is. Insult yourself? Does he also have this qualification? The next moment, the dragon's hand was lifted and a ray of light flashed. Then, one of the marks appeared on the palm of the hand. Blood, deprivation, cold charm is incomparable. Just saying these 4 words, Long Fei has no words. And Long Xian, but looked at Long Fei with a big smile. Blood deprivation? Ha ha ha. Who do you think you are? You are just a small species of the dragon, and this highness is the most expensive purple dragon. On your own, I dare to tell me about stripping. Long Xiaoxian laughed. Ridiculously laughing, the whole face became painful. The words have not been finished yet, and the whole person has become a dragon-shaped, directly uncontrolled. However, the scales of the whole body are beginning to fall off. Oh la la la! A piece of purple scales fell directly into the void, and the dragon's blood drifted to 0. Do not. The dragon. Painful mourning. It is useless at all. After the scales, it is the dragon horn, which is the dragon rib, which is the dragon claw, and the interlocking. Just a time of breathing. The dragon character of the dragon's body disappeared. Hey! Heavy drops fell under the ruins of Long My Mountain, and the death and injury were unknown. At this time, the dragon godless figure finally arrived. No! My son! The dragon has no pain. The dragon body rushed directly into the ruins. Looking at the dragon, which has become a human body and lost his life, the dragon is burning in the eyes of the godless god. Dragonfly. The dragon has no teeth to cut his teeth. Staring at the dragon flying above the void, how Ian hates it out. Grandpa is here. Don't call it so loud. Long Fei said, I want you to die. I want you to die. Because you are jealous. Let me be a purple dragon. My wife killed the hand of the emperor. Now, my child is dead in your hands. I want you to die. The dragon screamed without a god. Dragon burst. Rumble. The dragon gods have turned into the sky and rushed straight into the sky. Wherever passed, it was directly smashed into ruins. Hey! A loud noise. The dragon's godless figure hit the body of Long Fei. However, the figure of Long Fei is not moving. In contrast, the dragon is godless, but it is directly driven by this strong anti-seismic force. Rumble. The dragonless figure is directly bombarded on the Long My Mountain. The face of the Bailey Long My Mountain, under the dragon's huge dragon body, became a powder. No, it's impossible. I've already got the power of Long Yuan left by Long Zhu. Why is it not your opponent? I do not believe. The dragon is godless and crazy. Do not reincarnate into a dragon body, attacking the dragonfly. However, the results remain. Long Fei still proudly stands above the void and looks contemptuous. Long Yuan, you lost even the dragon's persistence, and even the belief of the dragons trampled on the ground. As for you, also get Long Yuan? Long Fei said disdain. Even if the dragon has no gains, Long Fei will never believe it. He got the power of Long Ba Tianmi to stay in the dragon market. If Long Baishan can see the wastewood like dragons and gods. Long Ba Tian, it is not worthy of calling Long Ba Tian. Impossible. I have found the secret of Long Xiu, and I have refining the power of Long Yuan. Why is it not your opponent? Why not your opponent? I am not willing. The dragon is roaring without God. However, Long Fei is too lazy to talk nonsense, and the ancestral ancestors in the hands of the emptiness are thrown away, directly shrouded the dragon. Familiar? Do you want revenge? Don't you want to be patient? Is not willing to be a dog for others? In this case, I will fulfill you, deprive you of the dragon's blood, and turn you into a dog. Long Fei said indifferently. Mindfulness, directly linked to Zhu Longyin with his own will. In my name, the dragon is the blood of the dragon. Long Fei said with a loud, and as the sound of Long Fei falls, the whole ancestral seal is over, and there is an endless ray of light between the moments. Brush the brush. The light descends from the sky and directly envelopes the dragon without God. No, do not want. Dragon, please, don't take the blood of my dragon. We are the same family. The dragon, godless moment, squatted on the ground and bowed to the dragon. The huge gap has already made him clear. Lone Fei wants to kill him, and he can do it between the fingers. More importantly, if Lone Fei is now depriving him of his blood, then he will have nothing at all, and he will die. But what he said now, for Lone Fei, is a joke. Same race? Haha. What a ridiculous thing. Dragon is godless. You really have no bones. When I first bowed to Xian Emperor when I was a pug, I thought about my family when I was shot by Laozi. When I suppressed my father and closed it in a cage, when he was so painful, he thought of the same family. Now say the same family? Late. Get me out. Lone Fei screamed and had no mercy. Even in the hands, the town dragon nails appeared directly. The dragon is godless, and the moment the dragon nail appears in the hands of Lone Fei, the whole person is directly soft on the ground. Between the two stocks, the yellow and white things are all in a group. Do not. Dragon gods still want to struggle, roaring, unwilling to break free from the group seal. However, it has no effect. Just a time of breathing, his dragon scales, dragon blood, dragon horns, as before the dragon immortal, were deprived. At this time, the town dragon nails also whizzed through the hands of Lone Fei and instantly penetrated the dragon's head. Roar! A nail directly penetrates the dragon's soul, and the dragon is godless, and at this moment, it is completely over, and it disappears. But Lone Fei, he wouldn't let him go like this. In the backhand, he took a wild dog directly from the unknown. In the name of my dragon flying, I will be a dog. After the third world, you can re-enter the road. Chapter 4650. Chapter 4653 is a dog. The biggest punishment in this world is this. From the high-end purple dragon, it is directly deprived of blood and instantly turned into a fur dog. For them, it is even more terrible than death. Do not. Don't be like this. Don't do this. We are innocent. Lone Fei adults, you can't do this. We are all dragons. We are the same family. In the blink of an eye, countless waves of forgiveness appeared. But it didn't work at all. Lone Fei directly mobilized the avenue of Songxing. The dragon totem is once again looming above the void. The rhyme is full, and with the power of the ancestral seal, the dragon blood of all the purple dragons is completely removed. Then, at the moment when these people became adults, Songshan Avenue directly pressed the life of countless wild dogs directly on Zilong. Brush it. Overwhelmingly, tens of thousands of purple dragons disappeared instantly and turned into tens of thousands of wild dogs. At this point, within the dragon, there is no more Zilong. And Lone Fei, at this time, also put the power of Songxing Avenue. After today, the dragons are recuperating, and the dragon is the most. A word is defined. This is the hegemony of Lone Fei. As for the Qinglong, Lone Fei did not think about it. It's just that Lone Fei believes that under the Songxing Avenue, he has the natural way of evolution. He does not want to interfere too much. At this moment, on the Longmai Mountain of Noda, among the thousands of dragon caves, the dragons flew out from the dragon caves and bowed to the dragon. Express reverence in one of the most silent ways. Of course, they are also afraid that Lone Fei will anger them because of the dragon's godlessness. Just think too much. Lone Fei is too lazy to care about, and does not want to waste time on these dragons. After all, after today, the strength of the dragon has been greatly weakened. But in the same way, Lone Fei also gave the dragons a chance to live. Under the Songxing Avenue, there are dragon totems, and the rise of the dragons is only a matter of time. After all, he can have today, and the dragon is not unrelated. Let's go, Lone Fei said faintly. It seems like this time from Longmai Mountain just passing by. In fact, for Lone Fei, it is passing by. However, it is a smooth solution to the dragon, such as the godless god, who can't even count the enemy. Even the dragon godless on the blacklist of Lone Fei is already submerged in the bottom of the existence. After a while, Long Fei and others came to the depths of Long My Mountain. In front of you, if you are at the end of the world, there is nothing in the sky between the clouds and the sea. It's like this step is just the end. Boss, shouldn't you make a mistake? Is there nothing? Li Yuanba touched his bald head and looked awkward. Live off the interpretation of what is called the second monk is not mine. Yeah, boss, the end of Long My Mountain, there is nothing to show. There is no shadow of the dragon market. Li Wuxin wanted to be steady and also frowned at this time. It's not just him. Everyone in the room is awesome. Especially Mu Yao. At this time, the face is even more dramatic. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. After Long My Mountain, it is the dragon market. This is the result of my family's master risking my life and exploring the Dragon Wave Mountain. It is absolutely impossible to have nothing. Mu Yao said quickly, I am afraid that Long Fei will misunderstand anything. After that, the eyes are more closely staring at Long Fei for fear that Long Fei will show dissatisfaction. The dragon, the eyes are very deep at this moment. Looking at the ridiculous clouds in front of him, Long Fei seems to have produced a feeling of belonging to the home. Very inciting. This feeling directly impacts the sea, and even the heartbeat cannot be accelerated. Dragon Bation? Is it you? Long Fei's heart was shocked. This is the only possibility, he thinks. If all the rumors are true, this dragon market contains the power left by Dragon Heaven. So now, the emergence of this turmoil, it is very likely that dragon power has its own strength within the body. Thinking of this, Long Fei's eyes are even more intense. This is the dragon market. Long Fei said. One bite, the expression is extremely firm. Everyone glimpsed, but before they spoke, Long Fei continued. But the dragon market has been drowned in the sea of clouds. The clouds are from the dragon, the wind is from the tiger, and under the sea of clouds, it is the dragon market. Just this sea of clouds, non-dragon people cannot cross. Long Fei said, How is this possible? How did the people I admire? Mu Yao cannot believe it, but Long Fei is a chuckle. However, someone deliberately let me come here. Everyone was shocked when this statement came out, especially Li Yuanba and others. There is a possibility in the mind. However, this may be too stunned to make them hard to believe. Boss, this is too hot? That person really still alive? Li Yuanba tentatively asked. He followed Long Fei for the longest time. However, I have never learned from Long Fei's mouth about the relationship between dragon and heaven. However, along the way, the dragons are not strong. They will be identified as Long Bashan. And, subtly, they have this kind of thinking in their hearts. Even before, the power of Long Fei Dantian broke out, and the entire ancient world believed that Long Fei was the reincarnation of Long Bashan. Li Yuanba and others are no exception. However, Long Fei has always been firm and undoubtedly determined that he is himself. In fact, Long Fei's own heart is of course clear that he is not a dragon from the beginning to the end. Therefore, standing in front of this dragon market at this moment, when I heard Long Fei say that someone was tempted, everyone was shocked. Because in addition to that person, in the ancient world, no one dares to lay out the layout of Long Fei. Yeah, boss, if it is really that person, we will do this. Zhang Yu also gave birth to hesitation. The shadow of the person, the name of the tree. After all, Long Bashan is known as the strongest person in the ancient world, sweeping the universe, positive pressure outside the field. This record is here. He is already a myth. But for too long, everyone has already stranded that history. Fake boss, if the person is really alive, how can he endure it, being paralyzed by Xian Emperor on his neck? How can you watch the dragons weaken? How can you look at the boss and step by step to today? Li Wuxin was also shocked. Even if he is a person in the chaotic world, he is also well aware of the 3 words of Dragon Ba. Therefore, it is equally shocking, and if you don't dare to think about it, you want to deny it directly. As for the Mu family and others, this is also a statement. But the expression on my face has already explained everything. Listening to the words in the crowd, Long Fei sneered in his heart. Immediately step out. He died. Again, let's take a step back and say that his life and death are not important. The important thing is that when I come, he will die. Even if he is still alive, I want him to die, and he can't live. Long Fei said a word, and his mouth was very determined. It seems that I already knew the existence of Long Bashan. However, there is no scruples and the heart is still there. Chapter 46:51. Chapter 46:51. What about Dragon Fighter? Even the heavens and the universe can't stay in the dragon, and the dragons can be safe and sound. Long Fei can still fear Long Bashan? Impossible. When you are weak, you will not be afraid of the dragon, and now it is super perfect, infinitely close to another level of 96. If Long Fei is not, it is not him. To take a step back, if Longba is really capable of being able to withstand himself, he has already taken it out of his body to take away what he wants to have. But until now, the silk does not move. That shows that he is still crouching and still waiting. In this way, Long Fei takes the initiative and is not afraid. Ha ha ha, the boss is the boss. I know that under this day, there are no people who can stop the boss's footsteps. Li Yuanba laughed. I felt the bald head and smiled awkwardly. But in the sneer, the eyes are soaring. It seems that the previous stunnedness has disappeared. Follow the dragonfly, just do it. Whether it is Xian Emperor or Dragon Bation. One word is dry. Yes, how can Long Bashan be able to fight? The old landlord still fights against the new local tyrant. With the means of the boss, even if he is alive, he must kill him. Zhang Yu also laughed. Then Li Wuxin, Tian Ling, Lin Yusheng, and so on. Each one responded faintly. To be exact, only one word has been responded to. That is dry. Hearing here, the people of Mujia have been completely shocked. Especially Miao. The three souls are gone. Oh my god, that is Dragon Bation. This is a group of people. Muyao's heart is mixed, although she is very awesome to Long Fei. I also believe that Long Fei will dare to go to World War I, even if he is facing Dragon. But now, this one is just like playing chicken blood, and even quarreling about going to the Dragon. She felt that the world was dark and dark. But on the contrary, Mu Yun is excited. It seems that I have returned to the air when I first followed the Dragon. Don't be jealous, just do it. The blood is full. When the double fists are clenched, the blue veins are violet. And I can't wait to join the brothers of Long Fei now. Because he believes that he is also the brother of Long Fei. However, Miao's words he also recognized. Even if you can't take the lead for Long Fei, you can't be a hindrance to Long Fei. Therefore, at this moment, even if he thinks in his heart, he will endure it. At this time, Long Fei's mouth also showed a smile. This is his brother, even if it is Long Bashan. I don't care at all. However, this time, Long Fei did not want to let a few people walk. Haha, okay, my brother. Long Fei, it should be like this. But this time, I am coming by myself. You return to the mountain of God first. After all, you don't have the dragon's blood. Moreover, the layout of the dragon's tyrants is also very targeted. Even if I give you the dragon's blood, you can't get in. Long Fei said. Now, Long Fei has been confirmed. Under the endless sea of clouds, it is the dragon market. But in the sea of clouds, there is the will of the dragon. Even if Longzhu wants to enter it, it is impossible. That is to say, before everything, only Dragon Bation deliberately exposed the dragon market, leading the dragon to fly. Li Yuanba and others listened, and the excitement on his face was extremely exciting. Mom, trick! I can't think of the first dragon of the ages, but also a bag. Li Yuanba screamed. The other few people are also awkward, but there is no opening, because they believe that even if one is a dragon, it will not be a problem. As for Mu Yao and others, it is a look of relief. After all, if this dragon market is under the dragon is still alive. Even if it is only a will, it is not that they can compete. So at this moment, I heard Long Fei say that they should return first. The heart is relieved. At this time, Long Fei no longer hesitated, nodded slightly to Li Yuanba and others, and then jumped into the endless sea. Boom! A roar. Just in the moment when Long Fei's figure disappeared into the sea of clouds. The endless clouds disappeared between the seas. And below, the hole becomes an abyss that cannot be stared. Look at Long Fei from the sea into the sea. Long Fei felt a very heavy pressure, which spurted from the bottom up, as if to want to drag him into the endless abyss. Not self-reliant. Create a 4-level body. Give it to me. The dragon screamed and screamed, and the strength of the majestic body was instantly swayed, and the power of this fall was even more sinister. And Long Fei, the figure, is also in this moment, condensed in the darkness of the air. At this time, Long Fei can see everything in front of him. What is this ghost place? Dragon Market? Is it really a ruin? At a glance, Long Fei is forced. There is infinite doubt in my heart, because there is nothing in front of you. Only one column after another leads to the endless bottom. On top of the pillars, there's a huge chain that is extremely large. Each chain has a size of a few feet. But at the top of the chain, it is a huge gap. Above the gap, there is a glimmer of cold in the darkness, as if it is also proclaiming that there was a bound person here. Rely. Dragon Ba Tion. This is your dragon market? You're struggling to take me here. Just come and show me this cage. Look at this ruin. Long Fei's unstoppable roar in his heart. Of course, there is no sound, but he believes that Dragon Heaven, hidden in his own body, will certainly know. Boom! At this time, the change is sudden. I saw that Zilongjian flew directly from the hands of Long Fei. Then, the dragon scale began to tremble in the system space. Long Fei's eyes changed. Want to break free? Impossible. Give me the town. Long Fei shouted. Quickly hook up the system to control the system space. However, what Long Fei unexpectedly did was, just as he started the power of the system, under the entire ruins, a direct ray of light. And this light instantly rushed into the dragon to know the sea. It's Long Fei, and it's not responding. What is even more horrifying is that this light directly penetrates the space of the system and directly leads the dragon scale from the system space. Ha ha, boy, you finally came here. How shocking. However, don't worry. You will spend it here in the endless years. Zulong printed. A scream of laughter came. Then, the seal of the ancestral dragon began to slowly melt away and finally turned out a scale. And this scale is evenly blended with the scale above the void. The dragon flies and glares. Between the heads up, the eyes are burning in anger. Dragon Heaven. Chapter 4652. Chapter 4652. Long Fei's eyes are gloomy. Even though it is a kind of precaution, it is still a big deal. All along, the system is the reliance of Long Fei. In particular, the system did not disappoint itself from beginning to end. Anything about the power of the soul, wanting to hurt yourself, is dead and clean. Therefore, the system space can be said that is also the most trusted force of Long Fei. Never believe that dragon scales can break free. Unexpectedly, he missed a crucial part. At this time, the voice of the system's sister appeared in the mind of Long Fei. Master, master. Appeared. The atmosphere of another system in the world appeared. The system's sister is excited, and there are endless expectations in the voice. Long Fei's eyes must be. Sure enough, this result, Long Fei has already thought of it. Otherwise, in addition to being the power of another system, there is absolutely no other power to break the defense of the system space. At this time, after the two dragon scales were merged, a shallow figure directly condensed on the void. The face of Long Fei is also suddenly changing. Dragon Heaven. Long Fei again shouted out these three words. The word broke. Although this figure is vague, it can feel a very familiar power. Not a system, but a dragon. The unique majesty of the dragon. This kind of breath is supreme. It is stronger than any dragons facing Long Fei. Even the original 13th dragon ancestors, in front of this Long Wei, is nothing but slag. For a moment, Long Fei is sure that the cliff is Long Baishan. Ha ha ha, Long Fei. I can't think of it. The real layout of Laozi is here. Above the figure, the sound of Long Baishan came out, and the tyrant was incomparable. Between the openings, there is a gesture of a natural king. But Long Fei has no influence. Even before dragon flying, the power of the dragon soul was hurt by the dragon, but his blood was not changed. You must know that Long Fei's blood is not just a dragon. It is the blood that has undergone numerous systemic transformations and system transformations. Even if Longba is innocent, is Zulong, for Long Fei, this piece of blood is not convinced. So what? You're only a dead person after all. Long Fei said indifferently. Anger? Killing? There are. But now that Dragon's Day really appears in front of Long Fei, it also makes Long Fei's heart truly relieved. It's easy, just as the scales were swept away from a dragon's body by a beam of light. Long Fei clearly felt that his heart was loose. That is to say, from this moment, Long Beishan has already got rid of his own life. As for fear, it does not exist at all. Dragon boy, don't be arrogant. Do you think that now you still have the power to return to heaven? Don't forget, I saw you step by step to today. What can you do, can I not know? In the void, the illusion of Long Beishan said arrogantly. And Long Fei, still calm, just faintly looked up and said, Then you think my strength killing you very hard? Long Fei asked. The eyes are full of drama. The reason why Long Fei is worried about the dragon tyrants. It is because this is a conspiracy. Since I came to the world, I've already laid out my own, even more deeply than the time traveler of his mother. It is Long Fei, and I have to admit that the means of Long Beishan is incredible. But when all the conspiracy was moved to the bright side, for Long Fei, there is no worry. Big deal is to do it. Or, in the heart of Long Fei, I have already been looking forward to today. Hey, Long Fei, I know you are strong. But presumably you also guessed it, I'm also a system owner. Although I don't know what system your system is. But my system is the most supreme and unique. Because my sequence is 001. And you don't know how many guinea pigs are in the supreme plane. On your own, still want to fight with me? Non-existent. Lomba Tianju said. At the same time, the shadow of illusion suddenly fell between. Does not exist? I want to try it. Killing you this ancient first, how it feels. Long Fei said coldly. Looking at the dragon tyrants, the figure disappeared, and there was no pause. One leaned over and chased the past. At the same time, in the system, Long Fei consciousness is linked with the system's sister. Master, I've already felt that Long Beishan must have hidden the system here. And now he must be going to integrate the system. We have to kill him before the Dragon Fighter fusion system. The system's sister said, very excited. But at the same time of excitement, there is some tremor. This scene is also awkward. What happened? Long Fei asked. And there was some hesitation in his heart. For the first time, he saw the system girl showing such a dignified expression. Master, if what Dragon said before is true, the next thing we face is very dangerous. The system's sister said. Long Fei is a glimpse. What do you mean? Long Fei asked. Master, in fact, the supreme plane, when the system is put on the player, there are special numbers. If he is really the first system player, then his system will probably be a perfect system. Although it can't be updated like the owner's system, the system is terrible. The system's sister said. And Long Fei, his eyes have become thicker. The perfect system repeated a sentence in the dragon's mouth. This Nima, the joke opened up. Long Fei has seen the power of his own system, so he never thought about it. The system is also divided into levels. Yes, that is to say, this system is born to be the emperor in the system. The system's sister responded with a sentence. Long Fei's heart trembled. I have thought about the legend of Long Ba Tian, and I already believe in the words of the system's sister. But what this brings to him is not fear, but excited, unprecedented excitement. At this moment, what boss, what respects the world is all clouds. If you can explode the dragon heaven, this system is integrated. For myself, it is the most powerful opportunity in history. As soon as I read this, the speed of Long Fei suddenly increased. After all, the system's sister can't doubt it. If you really give Long Beishan this opportunity to integrate the system, then for yourself, it is definitely not a good thing. Hey, the dragon flying figure suddenly fell, and the speed hit the limit again and again. Even if it is the body of the fourth grade, it is completely complete. At this time, Longfei has no idea how far it is to reach the bottom of the earth. There is no extra thought in my mind. The only thought is that it has exploded. Call. Finally, after a long time, Longfei's eyes have been completely renewed. Like an illusory space, all darkness disappears. Ha boy, you really got it. Welcome to my system space. Batian system. Chapter 4653. Chapter 4653. The sound of Longbation reappeared. And Longfei, the heart, is also suddenly shocked. System space. Why did I enter your system space? Longfei shouted. His heart was tight, and he was awkward. For the first time in history, there was a panic in his eyes. It is completely passive. Even from the beginning to the end, Longfei is not clear. How can he inexplicably enter the system of Longbation? I am Chao, the system sister. Things are big. The first reaction in Longfei's mind was to contact the system sister. What is even worse is that this time, Longfei could not perceive the existence of the system girl. For a moment, Longfei's face became pale and his fist was gripped. Invincible punch, Longfei shouted. There was a punch between them. However, this punch is directly like bombardment in nothingness, without any reaction. The blade of the king, give it to me, Longfei once again shouted. Yes, more horrible results appear. This moment, even the edge of the king did not respond. This punch has not appeared the same. Longfei did not give up and shouted again. However, the result is still the same. No response. The system is out of order. In a flash, Dragonfly's mind flashed a terrible result. At this time, Lomba's laughter reappeared. Ha ha ha, stupid. Dragon, I've already said that your means. I am clear. And, you mind, I know better. I have already expected that you will definitely chase after all, because I have taken care of your system, and you have also taken a look at my system. Longbation arrogantly said. At the same time, a figure emerges in the almost empty space around me. Still illusory. Even the soul is counted. This is the case, but it brings a kind of death oppression to Longfei. As if in this space, the power of Dragon Heaven is unmatched. So, I have already started the system in advance. How, my bully system, how? Longbation said openly. Among the voices, there is incomparable arrogance. If he has already returned, just like the year, he dominated the world. Batian system? Long Fiku repeated a sentence. It's really awesome. Longfei thought of it. Very bitter. This kind of suppression is not simply a refinement. It is the suppression at the system level. Now everything is clear. The violent system that you control, even if you have a system sister, you can still have an absolute gap in front of the dragon's domineering system. Otherwise, the system sister will not be able to contact. Even all system skills are no longer available. In other words, your own system in this system space has been scrapped. Kid, see it, this is the gap between you and me. Therefore, let me know if this kind of thing is broken. The wind and water are turning. You have put the spirit of lousy in your system for so long, and now you can taste it in the old subsystem space. Longbation voice reappeared. The next moment, Longfei only felt the darkness in front of him, as if all the perceptions of the outside world were blocked. Dragon Bation, I am doing your ancestors. Longfei screamed. The heart is extremely unwilling. There was no response at all. Longfei forced himself to calm down and constantly turned his mind in an attempt to connect the system girl. However, there is still no response. I am Nima, the same system owner. Is the gap so big? Longfei's heart was weak. He has always relied on the system. As for itself, the most powerful is the power of separation. Of course, there's also a corpse that is buried in the shackles of the eternal life. It's just that there is no integration yet. The same cannot be used. Okay, correct. I also have the power of eternal life. The eternal life is the ultimate power of the Promised Temple. And the System Sister said that the Promised Temple is comparable to the existence of the Supreme. Does that say the power of eternal life Even the systemic power of the dragon and the heavens can be suppressed. In an instant, Long Fei's heart ignited the fire of hope. Suddenly, Long Fei's mind was sinking, and the soul of the soul went deep into the depths of the sea. This is not the first time he wants to touch the power of eternal life. Just the first 2 times, there was no success. The second time, with the help of the System Sister, let him gain a lot of strength. But the real secret of excavating the power of eternal life is still too far. In a blink of an eye, the soul of Long Fei has already sunk into the depths of his own knowledge, looking at the eternal life of the high hanging in the sea. For the first time, Long Fei's heart has a strong desire for eternal life. The eternal life, I don't know if you have your own spiritual knowledge, but if there is, today I will command you as the Lord of eternal life. Take me the power to help me break through this dilemma. Otherwise, if I die, the first thing is to know the sea forever, and you don't want to reproduce the world. That is, Laozi is your master, the only master. After I, no one can get you. Remember, this is the order. Long Fei confronts the eternal life, saying one word at a time. Rumble. In an instant, the entire eternal life suddenly violently trembled. It seems to be angry, in response to Long Fei. And Long Fei, but did not step back. At this moment, the means of facing the dragon. Long Fei's heart urgently needs the power of the system. The only thing that might reawaken the system is the eternal power. So, in any case, Long Fei may give up. Don't doubt me. I have never been in this life. If you don't help me, I will die if I die. It's impossible to become a dragon. Long Fei said firmly. Long Batian calculated him all the way. In the end, really make a wedding dress for him? It is death, and Long Fei will not be reconciled. So at the moment, the arrow is on the string and has to be sent. Even if you try your best, Long Fei will try it. What makes Long Fei unexpected is that after the sentence is finished, the insane eternal temper has calmed down. Then, hey, the eternal life automatically opens a gap. Then, an eternal light directly rushed into the dragon's eyes. Brush. The light flashed, and the dragon flying consciousness directly returned to the flesh. Then, Long Fei directly launched the eternal life, the power given by the eternal life, through the void, and wanted to rush out of the system space of Dragon Heaven. However, the result made Long Fei slightly disappointed, but fortunately, this time, Long Fei was able to clearly understand that the connection between himself and the system was back. There is always a way out. Dragon tyrants want to kill Laozi. You still don't deserve it. Long Fei's eyes glanced at the system directly. Chapter 4654. Chapter 4654, Master, Good Horror. The System Sister opened the first sentence. At this point, the System Sister's expression is also unprecedented. The same is true on Long Fei's face. System Sister, Dragon System really so strong? Long Fei asked. Yes, Master. More powerful than you think. In the moment I came into contact with this space, I seemed to be locked into the little black house, and I wouldn't help if I contacted the owner. Even, I feel that the system of Long Batian has been scanning the system. If it is not the key moment, you use the power of eternal life and break open control. I am afraid that the other party is already trying to integrate our system power. The system girl is still worried. Sat on the belly of the drum. Long Fei's eyes scooped, and he regained his gaze. Now that the disaster is over, Long Fei can still distinguish between the primary and the secondary. Now is not the time to say this. The point of the question is whether there is any possibility to break away from the control of Longba. Long Fei said, in this space, in addition to the power of the flesh, the system power, one cannot be used. The physical strength in this space is an invalid attack. This feeling is too uncomfortable. Master, I am sorry, Long Batian's system time is too long, and the attributes of all parties are extremely powerful, and it is an infinitely closed system. With my current strength, I will not be able to crack it for a while. The system sister said, a face of self-blame. The eyes of Long Fei are also dimmed at this moment. Thinking of the vows that he had wanted to kill Long Bashan, Long Fei felt that he was a joke. Ridiculous. Once again, Long Fei feels very weak. Master, there is actually a way to try it. When Long Fei felt hopeless, the voice of the system's sister appeared again. What way? Long Fei asked, looking up, but no longer hope. After all, the performance of the system's sister has already explained everything. Master, you don't have to be so frustrated. This is not what I know. Although I can't crack the rules and attributes of this system now, as long as the master is getting stronger, I can get stronger and stronger. As a result, the system can also be upgraded in a subtle manner. Don't forget, the level of the system is now the ultimate form, the system's sister said. And Long Fei, but the heart is suddenly shocked. An annoyance emerges in my heart. I hate that I was almost stunned by Longba. I didn't fear him at the time. How can I give up the war now, even if it is infinitely close to perfection? Yes, it's my konjac. Even if it is a complete system, I am flying, and I am born to create a miracle. Sister, you said, what is the way to break the dog day system of this dog day? Long Fei said that the look is full of determination. In a flash, the blood is resurrected. Oh, this is the master I know. It is to be afraid of the sky. Even if he is stronger, it is only the boss on the master's road. Exploded him. The system's sister said that a beautiful face also showed a will to fight. Okay, but now, sister, you still have to talk about how to leave this ghost place. Long Fei said. At this moment, Long Fei has been awake at the reminder of the system's sister. If dragon power is invincible, then it will not just use its system to trap itself. You should have been eager to kill yourself, then forcibly merge. Now, Dragon Bation is silent after he has bound himself. It can be seen that Long Bashan must have more important things to do. And this is precisely the opportunity of Long Fei. I saw the expression on the face of the system's sister shocked and said, Master, the way is leave the world. The system's sister said, a dragon flies. Immediately in the mind, a flash of light flashed. You mean? Long Fei asked tentatively. The heartbeat is also at this moment suddenly accelerating. Yes, take advantage of the system's rewards. Leave here directly and head to Earth. The system's sister said. And Long Fei, at this time, is also a look that is so beautiful. At the moment, Long Fei no longer hesitates and enters the system's space directly. Well, open the way to the Earth. This has entered the law of the Earth, and Long Fei has never been touched since it was obtained. I am afraid that I will not be able to withstand the desire of my heart and open it in advance. After all, winning the hook on the day means that the Earth is now facing a big robbery, and it is only possible if you break through to the next level. Now, he is just super successful, far from the next level, and still has some experience. However, in this case, Long Fei has no intention to consider more. Start directly. Hey, congratulations to the player to start the return to the Earth. Hey, the player needs to turn on the summoning function, summon the characters of the Earth world, and use their own power to smash the void and pick up the master. System prompts. And Long Fei, the excitement on his face, turned into a bitter, gored face at this moment. He has the opportunity to summon, and it is still 3 times. However, Long Fei clearly remembers that the first chance to summon is the designated Holy Warrior series. Summon a Holy Warrior? Can you break the void and pick him up? Obviously impossible. Mom, fight. I don't believe it. The system is not on my side. Long Fei thought in his heart. His eyes must be a bite. Directly said, System, give up the first chance to summon. Directly start the second call. Long Fei said, very determined. At this time, I can only fight together. Hey, congratulations to the player to summon success. Hey, congratulations to the player for successfully summoning one of the 12 Great Witch's descendants. Hey, after the system counts down 3 seconds, the summoning character descends. The system prompts you. And Long Fei, the face is happy to bloom. Excited. Ha ha ha. Sure enough, I know that Lao Tzu will never die here. The descendants are out? A fierce person who can shoot through the sun with one arrow will not be able to wear a void? Non-existent. Long Fei laughed. At this time, a kind of undesired induction broke out from the unknown. Who call me? A voice full of suffocation appeared on the heart of Long Fei. However, there is no visible figure at all. Only now, with the induction, Long Fei has already affirmed that the descendants of the summoned are surely appearing outside the system of Longbation. Descent, don't worry so much. Remember, you only have one thing to do now. That is to return to the earth, and then use your full strength to shoot through the void. Long Fei Tube does not matter, directly said. Time does not wait for people as to whether their descendants can accept their attitudes. It is not important. Long Fei only needs to know that the descendants are those who are summoned by the system and cannot refuse their orders. Even if you don't obey, you can only enforce it for yourself. Command? Even if you don't dare to talk to me like this, what are you? The voice of the descendants appeared directly on the heart of Long Fei. Long Fei, I fought playoff? Directly rebellious? Chapter 4655. Chapter 4655. In an instant, Long Fei's heart was filled with thousands of horses. I didn't think of it. This time, I summoned a murderer directly. Is the cow on the earth so fierce? Is it awkward if you don't agree? Long Fei was forced. Thinking of the last win, it was also fierce. Is simply invincible. Unexpectedly, this time calling this is even more fierce, and it is no longer a question of refusing to refuse. Instead, it will be rebelled directly. In an instant, there was a kind of dumb in Long Fei's heart to eat Huang Lian, and there was a feeling of suffering. After all, this is his only hope. Don't get angry. Do you know that you won the hook? I have agreed with the winning hook, and now I want to enter the earth. However, I encountered a sudden situation and need your help. Long Fei said quickly. The heart is also extremely dissatisfied with the descendants. Thinking about waiting for the future to enter the earth, you must give your descendants a bitter taste. Win the hook. Are you the one who won the hook and can change the earth robbery? At this time, the voice of the descendants appeared again. However, there is no arrogance before. Yes, I am. Long Fei did not hesitate to admit. He is unclear about what the earth is facing. Now, what you have to do is to use all means to let the descendants help themselves. Otherwise, everything is empty talk. Kid, you shouldn't lie to me? If you really have the means to crack the robbing of the earth, can you use me to get it? Ask the descendants. Long Fei's heart is speechless. For the descendants, he is directly speechless. The robbery of the earth, can I not know, but I know that if you don't shoot now, there's no hope in the earth. Long Fei said, firm and unparalleled. Tell yourself if you win before you win. In the heart of Long Fei, there is confidence in this. If you win the game, you will not be able to face the power. You can only pin your hopes on yourself. Then Long Fei believes that it must be a win to see the difference in his own body. He didn't know if he could crack the Earth's crisis as he hoped, but he knows that winning the hook is a helpless thing, the whole Earth afraid that few people can easily face it. It is precisely because of this that Long Fei now has this self-confidence and dares to speak to his descendants. And the descendants are obviously in hesitation. For a moment, the voice of the descendants came again. How do you want me to help you? The descendants compromised. After the trade-off, the descendants changed the previous violent. Shun Shung said, go back to Earth and use your arrows to shoot through the void. You don't have to worry about it. Long Fei said, since this is said on the system, Long Fei believes that there must be no problem. Good. The descendants responded in a low voice. Then there is no news. However, it is just a matter of time. The sound of the system reappears. Hey, the system detects that the earth is empty and the player is entering. Long Fei's eyes are bright. So fast, it's really a broken cloud. Long Fei sighed in his heart. There is also a new definition of the earth in the heart. These are really super fierce people. Enter, Long Fei said without hesitation. He runs out of so many cards in order to get out of the current predicament. Now only this step, what is necessary to consider. The world is connected successfully. The system sounds prompts. The next moment, the system space of the entire dragon heaven began to shake sharply. Then, a strong force of direct penetration directly into the system space. Long Fei is also an instant reaction, jumping forward directly along the gap of this hole, directly into the power of this lead. Boom! The next moment, the feeling of endless emptiness disappeared. A feeling of regaining a new life is lingering in my heart. Ha ha ha! Dragon Bully, are you not arrogant? Don't you want to let Lousy feel the feeling in your space? How? Stupid? Seeing the sky again, the first thing Long Fei is naturally is against the dragon. However, what makes Long Fei unexpected is that at this moment, Long Bashan has already come to a world he has never seen before. Impossible, kid. How can you break free of my system space? This is absolutely impossible. Below, the sound of Long Bashan also appears directly. The hoarseness is full of anger and shock. I don't believe at all that Long Fei can break free of his system space. Impossible? There are still many impossible things. The dragon's mouth is picking up, and the eyes are locked in the dragon's place. It seems that your plan is not so perfect. It is full of Long Wei. It must be where your body is. Unfortunately, now the body is gone. Even if there is some energy, it is definitely not enough for you to recover. Ha ha ha, dragon tyrants. Are you not counting the ages, bullying time and space? Why is there today? Long Fei satirized. At the moment of appearance in this world, Long Fei felt the strong dragon power on the ground. In an instant, I guessed the reason why Long Bashan appeared here. However, there is no physical body of dragon heaven here. In this way, it is not difficult to imagine that there must be a mess here. You know, a fart. I never care about the flesh, because you're my best body. I just didn't expect you to be able to break free of my system space. However, it is just right. Since you are out, Lao Tzu will take your body first, destroy your soul, and melt your system. Long Batian said arrogantly, as if Long Fei is already the fish on his chopping board, killing and killing, all in his mind. It's a pity that he didn't even know that Long Fei was forced to stay at the moment. Under the force of the connection, the system is irreversible. If he did not rely on his sturdy body, he would have already entered the world channel. And for that, at this moment, check the virtual reality of Long Bashan. You think so much. Unfortunately, there is no such opportunity. Dragon Batian, you can't get the body of Lao Tzu. And in this case, if you want to recover, it will take some time. You can wash your neck. When Laozi returns, it is time to destroy you. Long Fei said coldly, no longer hesitate. And Dragon Batian, the illusory body, is also suddenly shocked at this time. The power of the system? You want to shuttle the world? Long Batian shouted, and the figure suddenly rose, and a horrible breath opened up on him. It seems I want to leave the dragonfly. Ha ha ha, useless. The power of the introduction has come. The world channel has been opened. Even if your system is so powerful, you can't stop me. Remember, waiting for Lousy to return is the time to solve you. Long Fei said, without hesitation, turned around and directly released the power of the referral. In the moment before the dragon's power came, the figure disappeared. Chapter 4656. Chapter 4656. Damn it. Dragon tyrants are empty. He was completely unexpected, and Long Fei actually broke away from his control through this means. This time, all his plans have failed. As Long Fei said, there is no flesh now. Even if it has a system, he wants to be born in the ancient times, and it is hopeless to rise one day. Even saying that it takes a long time to recover. Bastard even forgot this shackle. Longba angered in the fire, watching Long Fei leave the direction, killing the sky. But suddenly, the killing in the eyes of Longba disappeared. Instead, it was a shock. No, this breath? Earth. It's the earth. Has he actually returned to earth? Long Bashan whispered, his expression changed suddenly, and he even gave birth to endless cravings. What can you do if you can go back? The era of the earth has collapsed, and will not give him any help at all. When he returns, everything is still mine. Long Ba Tian illusion flashed, snarled, and then swooped down, continued to collect power. The picture is turned again. Long Fei follows the power of the introduction and integrates into the world channel. But this time, the time is very long. The world picture that whizzes past, that is, the power of Long Fei to control eternal life, cannot be seen thoroughly. Rumble. At this time, the endless roar broke out. Long Fei's heart is also a giant earthquake. It was too late to react, and it was directly plunged into a thunderstorm area. At this time, the earth, a tall building suspended in the void. A burst of alarm broke out. Hey! The alarm sounded constantly. The whole building began to flicker. What happened? Is there anyone going to break in? Is it Huaxiao? I heard that the woman in Huagua has broken through the path of practicing the ancient China, which is extremely powerful. But it shouldn't be. China is not harmonious. Although the woman is powerful, there are too many voices of disharmony in the country, and there are many incidents in China that are unclear. Many things are overwhelming. Chaos or Super War League. In an instant, within the house on the top floor of the building, a voice appeared, full of confusion. At this time, a full body armor, using armor that does not know what material to synthesize into the room. The president just explored an unidentified atmosphere, has broken through the thunderstorm area of the earth. Our power can't capture this breath. However, the direction of this breath is Huagua. The people quickly said. At this time, the impact of this change has gradually disappeared. The entire Super League has also calmed down. And in the center of the room, a very strong person with a full body attire holds the staff in his hand. Check. The recent changes in China are too big. Countless tyrannical energy erupts from time to time. This is a deadly threat to us. So, it is extremely difficult to find out. This decision was also agreed by all the Super League members in the room. Yes, you have to find out. We must stop the rise of China. When necessary, we can unite with the island's ninja shrine, as well as the Western Super King Alliance, to send troops to China. A voice appeared together. At the same time, the same voice was heard in the Yushin Shrine and the Super God Alliance. For a time, the wind was surging, and countless figures came to China in secret. Long Fei, which caused all of this, is silent about all this. At this time, Long Fei was standing on a mountain with a stern look. I rub. Is this China? Long Fei is a bit aggressive. Look at the front. Long Fei gave birth to an illusion if he came to the dream world. Everything seems so unreal. Even more terrifying is that the aura of the earth, the degree of richness, makes Long Fei feel terrible. Basically, it is almost the same as the New World. I rub. How can I go for decades? What happened to the earth? Long Fei was shocked several times. Breathing a strong aura, Long Fei could not help but wonder. Of course, he also thought about whether it would be different time rules. The earth has passed tens of thousands of years in fear of these years. However, I thought that I had returned to the galaxy when I was making a copy, and even saw Xiaoer. That also shows that the time flow rate on the Earth is absolutely not as exaggerated as I imagined. Then the only possibility is that above the Earth, the aura has recovered. For Reiki, Long Fei's past life also knew some online novels. But now I saw it with my own eyes, I was really shocked. Even if it is a resurgence of aura, the speed of this recovery is too fast and has already surpassed some planes in the ancient world. Long Fei's heart is dull. Still a little unbelievable. If you don't say anything else, it is just a building, and it has already made Long Fei stunned. Although the architecture of the city is still there. But it has already appeared in Qianglu Yuyu, and even some have even opened up Dongfu in the middle of the mountain. If Long Fei is not convinced that he has returned to the earth, he thought it was crossing the ancient earth. Of course, the shock is shock, and what you should do is still going on. Yes, there's still such an existence of the descendants of the winning streak. It is no surprise that this change. I want to know what happened. Just find them. Of course, even if the Earth's aura is recovering now, absolutely no one can cultivate to the extent of the dragon. Suddenly, Long Fei's eyes condensed and locked the west. That direction is Kunlun. Long Fei must be in the heart. At that glance, he did not find any existence about winning the hook. However, in the direction of Kunlun, Long Fei is faintly felt. There is a wave of space. As soon as I read this, Long Fei no longer hesitated, and his body shape will turn toward Kunlun. But at this time, Long Fei has not left, and a figure suddenly appears, passing directly in front of Long Fei. Do not. To be exact, it is the Eugian flight. Long Fei's eyes were condensed, and he looked at it. And these people also found the existence of Long Fei. I'm going, who is this? Although the aura has recovered, there is no need to install it like this. That's special, brother. Even if it is to participate in the selection of Xianshan, there is no need to do these external lessons. Brother behavior. With this time, it is better to practice and improve your cultivation. A voice appeared. Sneer. Chapter 46:57. Chapter 46:57. Long Fei's face sank. The heart is extremely unhappy. I have just come to the earth. Who is it? I have encountered this group of idiots. And these people see Long Fei do not speak, but also get the inch. Boy, if you don't even understand the refining, you want to participate in the selection of Xianshan. Don't dream about it in the daytime, or go back to be your ordinary folk. It's not that the aura has recovered, and the fate of all people can change. You obviously are not here. Someone said something. All eyes are contemptuous. It is as if they are able to fly with the sword. But Long Fei has no spiritual fluctuations. They can be high and arrogant. It is said that the dark color in the eyes of Long Fei is even more intense. Also at this time, some people came over. But these people are driving cars. There is no such thing as a sword. Of course, the current car is not in the memory of Long Fei. It can be said that it has been like a small rocket. It is a jet type, a batch of cattle. As soon as these people arrived, they went straight to the knees and went to the previous people. A look of flattery. Several brothers. Why do you have no waste and angry with him? Even with him, there is no qualification to speak with the brothers. Yes, man, it is best to have self-knowledge. No fairy, but also want to go to Xianshan? Daydreaming. It's still a few brothers. Really, people are dragons and phoenixes. A few people flying Eugian laughed. Obviously, I'm extremely enjoying this feeling of being crowded in the center. However, these are too lazy to look at Long Fei. It has long been commonplace. As the previous person said, these people have no qualifications to make him angry. Will the dragon care about the ants? Obviously not. Thinking of this, Long Fei turned and walked step by step. He also wants to see what it is, the so-called Xianshan, what is going on. It is a pity that Long Fei wants to let go of them, but he is abandoning his own life. Hey, you have a waist. Did you hear the brothers just now? Let you roll back. You dare to go up the mountain. Do you want to die? A figure appeared in front of Long Fei, blocking the figure of Long Fei. The crossbrows are cold, and the air is pressing. Obviously, Long Fei is regarded as Xiao Bai, who wants to fly to the top by the dragon, and several people before the knot. The dragonfly scorpion is cold, and the killing is on the top of his heart. Just about to open, but suddenly a person behind him pulled his arm. Long Fei turned indifferently. But I saw a fat man who looked like a fat man, but he was standing beside him. Don't talk the world. The rules have changed, the fat man said, and it was a flattering look. This Taoist friend is really good at repairing. I must have already built the foundation. This time, the selection of Xianshan will definitely be won in one fell swoop. When I look at my brother, I will take care of it. This kid is just a mortal who doesn't understand practice. Maybe he's a passerby. Why do you have a general knowledge of him? The fat man said with a charming face. Attitude is at its lowest. Get out of the way. You're also worthy of our friends, but also called the brothers. Do not sneak in the urine to see what kind of virtue, but the two-tiered look of the district. I want you, even the courage to go up the mountain. Don't dare to make a fuss. I see you tired of living. The man slammed his head and sweared at the fat man with a disdainful look. Then he kicked out. Hey! The body of the fat man was directly flung by a kick, and he flew for more than 10 meters before he stopped. Puff! The fat man spurted out of blood. Hey, Grandpa, what you said is, I'm going down the mountain, and this is going down. The fat man said with a look of sorrow, then pulled up Long Fei and turned away. And these people obviously lost interest. For them, no matter whether it is a dragon or a fat man, it is a clown that they can play at will, and they are not at all concerned. And Long Fei this time did not shoot. The whole process is calm. Just now, quietly behind the fat man. Call. His mother, it's so embarrassing. This foot almost blew the lungs of Lousy. Yang Lin Yangs, don't let me have a chance, or you will kill you. Fat screamed and screamed, and then the whole person fell on the ground, and the blood of one mouth and one mouth spewed out of the mouth. Long Fei stood behind him. There is no change in expression from beginning to end. But in fact, my heart has been moved. This fat man gave him the feeling as if to take him back to Tianwu mainland. As I first met Chen Tianfei, the original Chen Tianfei, who is now a fat man in general, uses his body to block his own injuries. Kid, I told you, this is a good life. This group of people, but like today, the most talented people in the house. On the weekdays, Zhang Wei, this time into the Xianshan, is already a matter of nailing. And in the future, they are disciples of Xianmen. If I didn't ask for you today, you are already a dead person now, said the fat man. Inexplicable, Long Fei's heart is warm. Looking at the fat man who is still complaining, his eyes changed slightly, and he said, Why are you saving me? Long Fei said, This is his best. I have never met before. Ha ha ha, why is there why? It's just to see you pleasing to the eye. I just want to save you. I have said that the rules of the world have changed. Many are not what you can imagine. The fat man said, his face was ruddy. Obviously, the previous foot has already hurt him. Long Fei slightly frowned. For the fat man's answer, there is no thought. Just faintly said, Rules have always been made by the strong. I have experienced more cruel rules, and they are not worthy of the words of my premise. Long Fei said faintly, but these words listened to the fat man's ears but did not believe. He thought that Long Fei was just pretending, but still very cooperatively said, Ha ha ha, good, you are arrogant. When you meet the fairy edge someday, my fish will follow you. Pull your banner. Use your rules to teach them to be human. Liu said with a big laugh. Long Fei's heart is warm. Although I don't know much about Liu, my heart is already sprouting my mind. You don't have to wait. Tomorrow, I will let you see my rules. As for them, one who is present today can't live. I will use their lives to announce my position and let them know that I am the rule. Long Fei said contemptuously. At the same time, he will also postpone the idea of going to Kunlun. For the Xianshan in the previous population, the mind was born. If you let them know that they were happy for a while, they dug their graves for them and didn't know what to think. It is Li Yu, watching the dragon flying in the face at this moment. The heart also gave birth to an illusion. It seems that Long Fei has long since surpassed this world and is invincible. Chapter 4658. Chapter 4658 Huagua, the highest capital. The recovery of Aura also led to riots. However, as early as the beginning, before everyone, there are already people who have a chance. This person has also become a saint of the Chinese side. That is Xiaoyer. Xiaoyer turned out to suppress all the charms. The Chinese nation will soon be stabilized, and it will kill all those who want to mess. Of course, the true meaning of what really made her a leap into the existence of the Chinese is her force, which has been able to crush the various organizations of the world. Yes, it is not a counterbalance, it is crushing. So nowadays, even if many of China's ancient existences are born, they dare not be too arrogant. At this time, in a room among the capitals, Xiaoyer, a long skirt, looked at the beautiful self in the mirror, and a smile of shame appeared on her face. I shouldn't be ugly now, Xiaoyer said to herself. But if you let others hear it, you will be ashamed to death. Because if Xiao, a national goddess, feels that she is ugly, Even if it is 99% of the people will be rebuilt. But Xiao Yuer's next sentence is more shocking to everyone. I don't know if Long Fei's brother wants to see me. Would you like to marry me? Xiao shyly held the skirt and looked at the mirror. There are endless thoughts in my eyes. And just inside a room not far from Xiao, the head, the degree of Reiki recovery has been a bit scary recently. Many of the legendary existences have been born. A Taoist-like person said to a middle-aged man in front of him. Well, what did the saints say? Said the man. This man is the highest leader of the entire Chinese nation today, named Yin Shaoxi. After the resurgence of aura, it is also adhering to the baptism of the country's dragons, and it is even more unfathomable. But this is the case, his thinking is still based on Xiao Yuer. The saint is not aware of this matter. Moreover, the saint has not known what happened recently. It is indifferent to the changes in the world. It is just to pay attention to people. Is there any special power coming from outside the sky? Yin Shaoxi has a cold face. Do you care about the strength of the sky? Hey, it seems that he has not forgotten the man. The guards were scared to breathe. The head, have you broken through? Asked the guards. Yes, I have already broken through to Yuaning. Yin Shaoxi said, a look of arrogance, as if the world is invincible. Ha ha ha, congratulations to the head, she the head. The saint had said that if the head had the ability to defend the country, he agreed to be with you. Now that you have already broken through the Yuaning, don't say anything about the Super War Alliance. That is, the combination of the Ninja Shrine and the Super God Alliance is not enough for you to kill with one hand. The Taoist said. Yin Shaoxi's eyes flashed in the eye. That's all secondary. What I care most about is, who is the person waiting for the saint? If one day, if you come to the earth, I must let him live instead of death. Yin Shaoxi said with a sullen look. And he naturally doesn't know. Xiao Yuer's people at this time have already returned to Earth. Moreover, it is already in China at this time. Kid, can't you do it? I think, or forget it, this group of people is super fierce. Liu looked at the fairy mountain in front of him and gave birth to a retreat. He originally thought that Long Fei was compelling and venting his grievances. Unexpectedly, Long Fei actually took him directly to Xianshan. Even now, he thought that Long Fei could not let go of his face, so he took the initiative to find a step and wanted Long Fei to give up. However, Long Fei just shook his head. Don't be jealous, it's a man, just do it. Long Fei responded faintly. He has never been afraid of the heavens and the world. Now he returns to the earth, not to mention the return of the brocade, and he can't go to the night, letting some of the uglies and ugliness pee on their heads. Cough, Long Fei, I don't think so, but this is Xianshan. This is the mountain that will appear in the novel. There are a lot of cows here. Are you sure that we are going and have a life back? Li said, looking at the timid expression on Liu's face. Long Fei chuckled. Let's do it. Let's make a bet, Long Fei said. What gambling? Li Fish looked up. If I could take you safely and down from this fairy mountain, how do you recognize me as the boss? Long Fei said. The face is extremely confident. He did not know what the Xianshan was. He did not know what it was related to the legendary Lushan. But the only thing that is certain is that even if it is the legendary Lushan in the earth, there is no threat to him. Brother, don't say that you are the boss. You are okay to recognize you as an ancestor. The problem is, if we go up, can we really live? Li Fish asked seriously. I don't believe what Long Fei said at all. Long Fei slightly sinks. Then I will give you a choice. Go up with me, or you are here waiting for me. You go up with me, my brother will be in the future. You wait for me to return. I will also give you a makeup. Let you become the top of the list of the earth. Long Fei said, there are also some disappointments in my eyes. Liu's glimpse, inexplicable. Long Fei's words made him feel very heavy. The heart is even more of an idea. That is, if he does not follow the dragonfly, he will miss the opportunity to change his own destiny. I am going. No hesitation. Liu shouted his answer. And Long Fei, the corner of the mouth, is also a sneer at this time. Liu, after all, did not let him down. Go. Since I am my brother, I will take you out, not to mention the few people who were yesterday. If this mountain is covered, it is against me. then destroy the Lushan. Long Fei said, "This is his rule. Block me from dying." Originally, he thought that he would return to the earth, because the sense of belonging in the bones will be suppressed. Long Fei even made a good plan for grievances. Today, the aura is recovering. The rules are reshaped. Everything is respected by the strong. Long Fei, naturally no scruples. The next moment, Long Fei did not avoid it, grabbed the fish, and the body went straight and flew away. Li Yu was shocked, and his heart jumped out. At this time, he understood. From the beginning to the end, Long Fei did not say anything big. At this time, on the top of Mount Lu, a few people who insulted Li Yu yesterday. The limelight is strong. Haha, who else? Who else dares to challenge? If there isn't this level, this is even if I win, said a young man dressed in a very arrogant bag. No one else. It was the first person who sneered at Long Fei yesterday. This person has been ecstasy, looking at the vast mountains of the mountains, tens of thousands of people without a mouth, violent knot. Have. Also at this time, Long Fei arrived. Chapter 46:59. Chapter 46:59. Long Fei took the plumfish and walked down the hill step by step. In an instant, it attracted everyone's attention. Are they two? Is this coming to die? I don't know what to do. I have let them go twice yesterday. Today, I dare to die and die. Look at the 96. I have a hunch these two people will be alive and stabbed by Li Ping. Countless voices appeared from the top of Mount Lu. Of course, many people said that they were present yesterday. For Long Fei and Li Yu, there are clowns in their eyes. It is now appearing, but it is just a sensation. No, Long Fei, or let's forget it. I can't bear to see you go to death. Li Yu said, a look of worry. He has already decided that Long Fei will not give up. Unexpectedly, Long Fei came up in front of so many people and dared to challenge. Basically, it is a dead end. There is no room for easing. The flight of Long Fei is also a stop at this time. You challenge him, not me. Long Fei said faintly. Hey, Li Yu's glimpse. The heart has mentioned the blind eye, and I have never thought about it. It would be such a result. No, don't. Brother, I haven't opened it yet. Why you send me to die? Boss, big brother, uncle, you let me go. I don't want to die young. Li Yu cried, directly licking Long Fei's arm, and did not move. Long Fei is speechless. For Li Yu, he even gave birth to a bit of suspicion and felt that it was a mistake to bring him to the road to the top. But immediately, Long Fei's eyes must be. Don't talk nonsense, give me up. Long Fei said, and then his hands slammed directly on Li Yu's body, slamming it and throwing the fish directly onto the platform. It's your dog thing. Why? Yesterday's face was not enough? Now I want to get it from it. Li Ping looked at Li Yu's face and looked confused. The mind is big, even more unscrupulous, said coldly. But it's just right. It's a waste of your life. Use your blood to witness my rise. Broken sword, Li Ping shouted, and the sword was in his hand, shaking his flowers. And with it, it was a sharp sword light sweeping through the sky, directly stabbing the fish. In an instant, Li Ping was directly in the same place. There's a blank in the brain. It's over. The last thought of the fish in the mind of Li Yu. I am dying. 2 interest rates. At the time of only 2 interest, Li Ping's long sword light and shadow came directly to Li Yu's body. Avoid it. Even the people present were bored and looked away. In their view, Li Ping's sword is enough to give the result to the fish. There is nothing to look at. It seems that at the moment when Li Yu came to power, fate was already doomed. And no one noticed that at this time, Long Fei, in his hands, quietly pinched the print and then slammed into the eyebrows of Li Yu. The great emperor passed down, and it is the inheritance of Fangtian. Although the great emperor system has been stranded, even the Tianyin beast has fallen into a sleep. But several of the inheritances are still immersed in the system space. Previous temptations for Li Yu were just about choosing whether or not to hand over this inheritance power to him. Fortunately, Li Yu did not let him down. Although, hey, but after all, there is no choice to leave. Therefore, On this occasion, Longfei handed over the inheritance power of the great emperor to Li Yu. At this moment, with this inheritance imprint integrated into the body of the fish, Li Yu's eyes screamed directly, instinctively, directly extended his hands, and Li Ping's long sword was sandwiched between the two fingers. One step away, the difference between the first line, he will die of Huang Quan. But now, everything will be reversed. Li Ping's face changed, and he looked incredulously at the fish in front of him. Impossible, breaking the waves and a sword. Even if the masters of the foundation period cannot get it, how can you pick up a second layer of waste? Li Ping looked horrified. It seems as if I have seen something terrible. Yes, for him, this is horror. Li Yu, but indifferent. At this time, his mind is being madly accepted, and his body is also infinitely horrifying. Li Ping was the first to bear the brunt. He stood in front of the fish, so he felt the horror of the fish on the fish. This power is simply fatal to him. Dang dang. No doubts. The long sword in Li Ping's hand fell directly on the ground, and the whole person continually exploded. No, it's impossible. Who are you? Li Ping's whole person is lost, and an unprecedented sense of crisis is on his mind. At this moment, he only retired. Even a feeling has already appeared in my heart. That is, you can die without retreating. The atmosphere of the fish at the time of the fish began to shrink. In the end, the whole person's cultivation is directly at the foundation. Below, Longfei looked at the breath of Li Yu and stopped, his mouth smirking. It's good to be able to accept this kind of body in one go. Hey, the ancient emperor, I don't know what kind of legend can be created on the earth. Longfei has some faint expectations. And Li Yu, also wake up at this time. Looking at the changes in his body, his eyes are full of doubts and puzzles. But instinctively, he knows that all of this is related to Longfei. Boss! Li Fish turned and shouted directly to Longfei. The eyes are full of gratitude. Because Longfei, it is not just strength. There is also dignity. First solve the problem at hand. Today, watch your performance. Longfei said faintly. Yeah, Li, you should be heavy. This day is his heart. He waited for too long. He wants to be proud and wants to return to the humiliation he has received. Today is the beginning of everything. Brush. Li Fish looked around and looked at Li Yu. Waste? Now you look again. Who is the waste? Li Yu was cold, and his eyes were killing. Snapped. Li Fish stepped forward and slammed out. The power of terror erupted on him. Hey! Li Ping's body is like a broken kite, which is directly smashed by Li Yu. Kill me? Shame me? Have you ever thought of having today? Not only you. Everyone present today once humiliated me. I remember all. Remember it. It is time to liquidate. I will let you one, all use blood to repay the sins that have been made. Li Fish looked gloomy, Cold Charm said. The killing of the enemy is almost over the entire sky. No, I'm already a disciple in the mountains. If you hurt me, the elders of Lushan will not let you go. Li Ping struggled to get up from the ground and said to Li Yu. Chapter 4660. Chapter 4660. Li Ping was frightened. At this time, the pride was crushed by the fierceness of the fish. A slap directly ruined all his sense of superiority. Li Yu is a sneer. Wushan is a disciple. Don't say that you are not a man of Lushan. Even if you are already a disciple of Lushan, you will die today. Since you think that strength is the rule, then lousy, I will talk to you with strength today. Li Fish angered. There was no hesitation at all. He didn't know how strong Lushan was. He only knew that his body had already contained almost explosive power. At this moment, he only wants to kill those who have insulted himself one by one. Hey! The figure disappeared directly on the spot at this moment. Nearly teleportation, directly in front of Li Ping. Then a punch fell. Hey! A crisp sound appeared. I saw Li Ping's misunderstanding. The position of the chest has been a hole in the blood of Li Yu. Puff! The blood splattered the face of Li Yu, but the expression of Li Yu did not change at all. Yes, it is as cold as ever. Below, Longfei frowned slightly. He He was afraid that Li Yu would suddenly get himself with such a powerful force. After all, even if he gave him the power of inheritance of Fong Tiandai, he did not let him kill, but wanted to give him a living dignity. However, now Li Yu has been filled with hatred in his heart. Instinct, Long Fei wants to stop. What surprised him was that Li Yu seemed to have guessed Long Fei's concerns. On the face covered with blood, I smiled at Long Fei. "Boss, rest assured," Li Yu said. Although it is only 4 words, it has already indicated his attitude. "Call." Long Fei took a deep breath. He can feel that although the fish is killing the sky, the mind is not lost. I also lost myself because of the sudden amount of violence. For Long Fei, this is enough. As for the extent to which Li Yu will take this day to day, Long Fei does not care. As long as Li Yu thinks, even if it is to dismantle the entire Lushan, Long Fei does not care. Without it, just because Li Yu is his brother, the picture will turn again, and Li Yu will kill Li Ping. Above the Lushan mountain, it has caused confusion. Is this person crazy? I dare to challenge the majesty of the mountain? The sand sculpture, he is dead. Today, when the mountain is open, he will definitely take him. I don't want to think about it. A legendary fairy door was born, and it was directly ignored by people. It certainly won't give up. There was a cholera outbreak in the crowd. Everyone is starting to stay away. It seems that it has been expected that when the people of Lushan come, the fish will die without a place to die. Even if I am afraid that if I rely too close, I will be hurt by the fish. And Li Yu, there is no such thing in them. A turn of sight, like a viper, directly locks the person who shot him yesterday. And you, yesterday's foot, I will give it to you today, Li Yu Cold Charm said. The figure flashed and went straight to the person. Then one foot stepped on. Hey! This foot directly puts this person on the building of Lushan and stimulates endless smoke. And this person, even more dead, can no longer die. And you, 3 days ago, you humiliated me like a dog and gave me a slap. You, half a month ago, want to take the precious medicine that a girl accidentally obtained. I just stopped, but you were in front of me and killed the girl. I want you to pay today. Li Yu has ordered more than a dozen people. In addition to a few people yesterday, there are quite a few. Every time a person is out, Li Yu will expose his sins. And these people, each one is pointed out by the fish. The face is instantly white. Hey! For a moment, these people did not hesitate to fly directly to the sword. At this point, there is only one thought in their minds. That is to escape. Must escape. Only escape. There is still a line of life. Otherwise, Li Ping is their foresight, and it seems that there is no place to die. And Li Yu, but no mercy, incarnation of human judgment, chasing again and again. Punch again and again. Every time you punch, you will end your life. Ah, devil, you are the executioner, saying that we are sinful. What about you? Isn't it sin to kill us? Dog things, you are dead. Above the mountains, fight big shots. 10 lives are not enough for atonement. Countless mourning broke out on Mount Lu, under the absolute violence of Li Yu. Escape, it does not exist at all. There is no feasibility at all. Even if it has not been Yu Jian, it has been directly blown down by Li Yu. There is no room for struggle. And Li Yu, there is no hesitation and change on his face. Killing you is a punishment. I'm not a savior. I just know that this world should not do whatever it wants. If Xian Shan comes to protect you, then this fairy mountain is the door of the mixed world, and it doesn't matter. Li Fish said quietly. 1 word and 1 sentence. The word is, Long Fei was shocked. In the ancient world, what he wants in his heart is only guardian. Although in his opinion, the behavior of the fish is although there are some virgins. But more, it is the heart of the child. Long Fei felt in his heart. Despite these years, the guardianism he insisted on has never changed. The heart of the red heart, Fong Tianben, is just right. Now Li Yu is in charge of Fong Tianquan? Is it? Long Fei's heart gave birth to speculation. But I'm not sure. Just looking at the fish, I was a little bit brilliant. But at this time, on the top of Mount Lu, a long sword suddenly broke into the air. Go straight to the fish. Hey! brush. Jianguang. In the blink of an eye, the void is cut, and the speed is fast and indescribable. Liu also turned instantly, and his face was a panic. The ignorant thing, today, I was born in the mountains, and I dared to make a killing. I dare to slap my feet on my mountain, but I don't know how to live and die. A sword has ended your life, in the name of my mountain. A sound is cold and frosty, falling from the top of Mount Lu. Hey! Li Fish did not escape at all, and was directly passed by a sword. If it wasn't for the key moment, Long Fei shot and dislocated his body, fearing that he had already penetrated his chest. Okay, the people who want to kill this seat, there's still people who dare to save? It seems that today, do not move to kill. You do not know what is called the power of Xianmen. Heavenly swords and demon. Out of the sheath, above the hollow of the mountain, the master of the voice appeared. A purple robe, the glory of the sky. And in the hands, the long sword split into 6, suddenly stabbed. Liu did not move, but in the eyes, it was full of anger. As if the act of Lushan has made it desperate. In desperation, there's an endless anger. Long Fei's heart was also a move. His eyes were cold, and he looked up and said, Lushan is really a great majesty. I will give you the opportunity to call me out of the strongest strength of Lushan. Otherwise, the consequences will be conceded. Chapter 4661. Chapter 4661, The Voice of Long Fei, shocked the audience. No one can imagine that nowadays, Lushan Master has already appeared, and Long Fei even dared to open a hiccup. Let's go. In front of this seat, dare to speak out? Cut. On the void, Lushan's people are angry. Originally thought, a sword will be fixed, killed the fish, and revived the prestige of the Jiuliu Mountain. As the birth of Lushan, the cannon fodder of killing chickens and monkeys. But I never thought that now I was accused by Long Fei, and even let him shout out the strongest people in Lushan. This is completely indifferent to their Lushan. At this time, the people who wanted to worship the mountain gates on the entire Lushan mountain were completely shocked. I am Chao Fierce, this is stupid. Hey, look for the dead end. Look at it. This person must be handsome for only 3 seconds. A sword cannot hide. Where there is such a stupidity, I want to show the sense of existence. Don't look at it. A fairy tale that has been passed down for thousands of years to become a legend. Is he also able to provoke? One voice, one sentence, all are mocking of Long Fei. For Long Fei, they simply don't believe it. It was Li Yu, and at this time there was a bit of confusion in my heart. He knows that Long Fei is very strong. But after all, I have never seen Long Fei shot. No, the boss does not seem to be repaired, and this person is afraid that it has already been built in a late stage, and even has become a master of Jindan. I can't let the boss take risks. Li Yu thought of it, then suddenly opened. The hybrid of Lushan, there's a kind to kill the young master. My little boy, I just can't get used to you, who are self-proclaimed, but who don't have justice. There's a kind of killing me. Li Yu took the initiative to open the attention of the people who came from Lushan. Long Fei's eyes changed and his heart warmed. He didn't know. Li Yu was just excusing himself. However, he did not know at all that for Long Fei, the so-called Lushan, even a stepping stone is not counted. At this time, Lushan came to the people, and Li Yu was irritated in a few words. Stop, what kind of dog thing do you have? How can I still not get your fingertips? I wanted to marry the person who didn't know how to live, and then come to marry you. But since you are looking for death, then this seat will be yours. Hey, said Lushan. Hands a little. Meng, above the void, the long sword that had been stabbed to Long Fei, directly turned the direction and forced the fish. And Li Yu, like a conspiracy, grinned. Boss, go. Li Yu said a moment, then straight up, facing the sword light coming down, is to punch a punch. Without self-reliance, the strength of the building of the district, I dare to pick up my sword with a pair of soft fists. Court death. On the void, Lushan came to the sword and sneered at Li Yu. However, he did not pay attention to it, just in the moment when the sword is about to touch the fish. The dragon flew. The figure flashed and turned directly into a residual image. In an instant, I came directly to Li Yu. Then a punch hit. Hey, hey! Countless broken sounds broke out. I saw that the 6 long swords above the void directly shattered into countless pieces and landed. For a moment, the whole world was completely silent. Everyone is incredibly looking at what happened in front of him. It's too shocking. Shake their hearts directly. How is it possible? This is the weapon of the Lushan Immortal. So, it is broken? It's so horrible. You can break the fairy weapon with a punch. I have a hunch that there will be big events happening on Mount Lushan today. Seeing this scene, some people have already thought of what Longfei said before. If they said before, they felt that Longfei was pretending to be a slogan. So now, someone has taken it seriously. At this time, Liu is also a face. Looking at the dragon flying in front of him, my heart is also shocked. I thought, boss, is this true? Li Fish exclaimed. It is himself. Can't believe that Longfei has such a strong strength. As you can see, Longfei responded faintly. Then I turned my eyes and looked at the disciple of Yushan, who is still in the void. There are not many people who can let Laozi look up, and you are definitely not here. Get me down, angrily screamed. Longfei's body swelled out. Of course, nowadays returning to the earth, Longfei has used all its strength, and even will be repaired and suppressed in the realm of ancient powers, and they only dare to exert the power of the event. Because his heart is clear, if he's shot, the whole earth is afraid that it will disappear in an instant. Bang! Hey! And at that moment, the disciples of the Lushan mountain above the void, the body is also uncontrolled, falling directly from the void. Hey! A loud noise. I saw the knees of the disciples of Lushan directly fell in front of Longfei. You, who are you? The disciples of Lushan's disciples were very flustered, and they insisted on the pain of the broken soul. You are not qualified to know who I am. I have said before, call out the strongest people in your mountain. Maybe you still have a chance to live. Longfei said faintly. For this Lushan, Longfei did not care. There is no desire to kill. In vain. Counting with his current combat power, fearing that the whole earth will be destroyed will not have a little experience. For this kind of unwillingness, Longfei is too lazy to do it. If it weren't for Liu, Longfei didn't even have the interest to step into Lushan. However, everything that happened before has already made Longfei's heart decide to take the mountain. And the disciple of Lushan was even more anxious to die at this time. Once upon a time, he was tall and never dared to disobey. Today, it is directly bound by the dragon and the pressure, kneeling on the ground. Thinking of this person has a heart in his heart and looks up at the first dragon to say, impossible. I am also a sacred mountain. Who do you think you are, the strongest of our mountains, and what do you want to see? And you better let me go if you dare to move me a hair. I'm going to the mountain will make you not to die. Shuhan disciple said hard. Even if it is stumbling in front of Longfei, it is still very proud. There is no fear of a face. However, the next moment, the pride on his face was dissipated. Instead, it is endless horror. Because of this moment, Longfei smiled. But this smile, in his opinion, is the reminder of death. I saw that Longfei's palm was moving, and one palm fell, and he shot it directly on his head. Direct burst. Even the last pleading for mercy, he did not have time to send out, and he died directly. On the other hand, Longfei, but it is a face that does not agree. Facing the body of the disciple of Lushan, the lips are lightly open. I moved. I also want to see, people in Lushan, how to make me not to die. Longfei said, and then jumped up like a dry land, pulling onions floating directly above the void, cold eyes looking deep into the mountains. Chapter 4662. Chapter 4662 Lushan Deep. Zhongtian hanging sword. Sword meaning. But at this time, the long sword that was hung above the void suddenly burst into a burst of swords. Hey! 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 One after another, as a warning. Brush it. At this time, the figure of the road came down directly. Okay. Tianjin frequently issued warnings. Is it that I am just going to be born? Is there a demon chaos? Oh, I really don't open my eyes. I dare to swear at the bottom of my eyes, and I could not leave him. Go, I want to see who is it to find a way out. On the top of Mount Lu, a few white-bearded old men, looking at the long sword above the void, burst into a cold. 7 sons of Lushan, you 7 people quickly went to the top of the mountain gate and murdered my sorrowful mountain and killed the ground. A white man said openly, Yes, elders. 7 people walked out of the crowd, and they were not sad or happy. Even, there is a boring gesture. It seems that in the face of this task, I don't care. What they don't know is that if they go there, there will be no chance to come back. At this time, the outer gate of Lushan, Long Fei underestimated and killed the disciples of Lushan, and then looked at Li Yu. Sorry, boss. I'm shameful for you. Li Fish's eyes flashed a shy color. After all, Long Fei gave him the opportunity to go against the sky. Let him become the realm of building a foundation. But he was seriously injured by others. This made him feel that he really had no face to face Long Fei. Well, not. You have just got the inheritance power, can do it now, is beyond my imagination. Long Fei said, After all, Liu is no better than others. Whether others are in the flesh, the foundation, or the talent, there are too many gaps. Or it's a world apart. It is the practice of Li Yu for thousands of years, and it is not necessarily the level that Li has no heart. Therefore, it is enough to make Long Fei surprised by the fact that it can take so much power at one time with the flesh. Moreover, the heart of the fish of Li Yu is to make Long Fei look forward to it. Just now, Li Yu still needs time. Listening to Long Fei's words, Li Yu grinned, as if to get the affirmation of Long Fei is a blessing for him. Boss, now the humiliation of yesterday has been reported. Is it better to withdraw now? Li Fish asked tentatively. If he can, he does not want to stay in Lushan for a while. A Shaoshan disciple can make him seriously injured. He is not afraid of death, but he is afraid that Dragon will be in danger. Only, he just followed Long Fei. I don't understand it all. In the world of Long Fei, the word has never been withdrawn. No, and they're already here. You first retreat, protect yourself, and give it to me. Long Fei said. There was a flash of light in the eyes. When Li Yu opened his mouth, he knew the meaning of Li Yu. However, from the beginning to the end, Long Fei never thought about good. Just like Li Yu said, if the mountain is sheltered from evil, then he does not mind. Let Lushan become a Jedi from Xianmen. Brush it. At this time, 7 figures came. It is the 7 sons of Lushan. In the first time, 7 people will directly focus on Long Fei. Hello, you're a big dog. You dare to hurt my disciple. You know, you have committed a great crime. Now, I'm proud of my neck, and I am remorseful in front of my mountain, but I can make you go faster. Otherwise, you will be able to bear the pain of the sword. The person who spoke was the 4th of the 7 sons of Lushan, named Mingxin. Minding what to say to him, the existence of ants. This is the second child, wise. Yes, it's wise to say it, although I'm very curious. How can a person who has nothing to do to kill the disciple? However, cockroaches are ants. Only let him taste the pain of the soul of the sword, in order to let the world understand that what is called awe. Another person opened, very proud. Moreover, the eyes are filled with haze, and Long Fei has been directly regarded as a dead person. After that, the body stepped out. Wan Jian Soul's hey brush. A sword light stunned the world. Immediately, the sword shadow shook, directly forming a sword net. Brush. Above the sword net, Wan Jian bursts and falls directly to the dragon. The immortal means must be a means of immortality. Definitely dead. This kid is dead. I already knew this result. Oh, idiot, I thought I was a savior. I don't know. In front of the fairy facade, I was just a clown. The crowd is stunned and still insists on the view of Long Fei. Only a few people looked at Long Fei's still calm face and hesitated. Then think about it and go straight away. There was also a panic on the face of Li Yu. Boss, you're going, I will fight. Instinct, Li Yu said, holding the body hard. want to come to the front of the dragonfly, for Long Fei to resist. Because it is him, he also feels a deadly threat. This kind of breath is not comparable to that of the disciples before. He definitely didn't want to see that Long Fei was in danger because of himself. In the air, the Ming Dao, one of the 7 sons of Lushan, stands proudly. It seems to be extremely satisfied with the power of this sword. Dog things die. Ming Dao gave a cold drink. And Long Fei, but it doesn't move. Still the old is there, looking at the void with a look of fun. Then, just in the moment when the sword net is about to fall in front of you, the dragon flew. The scorpion must have an eternal power to burst from the shackles. Boom! The big sword net is also under the eyes of Long Fei, and it stops. This scene once again shocked everyone's heart. They don't understand it at all, and they can't believe it. Long Fei turned out to be isolated from the killings of Shaoshan disciples with one eye. It is the 7 sons of Lushan, and his face is also changing at this time. No, this person is very surprised. The 6th retreat. Danger. The 7 sons of Lushan successively opened. In front of this scene, they feel the danger is coming. Among them, the biggest reaction is Ming Dao. He is extremely clear about the power of his sword. No, it's impossible. Under Yuan Ying, I can smash a sword. How can someone rely on one eye to block my swordsmanship? I do not believe. Ming Dao hysteria roaring in the air. But the physical instinct has already sold him. Retreat. Constantly retreating. As if, as long as you take a slow shot, death will come. And Long Fei, the corner of his mouth is a sneer. Now want to retire? Late. But you said it is good. This person needs awe. Today, Lao Tzu uses your death in the mountains to shock the world. Long Fei said faintly. But every sentence is a torture for Ming Dao at this time. Cut. At this time, Long Fei's voice was condensed. In a word, this stays in the net of the sky above the void and suddenly changes direction. Brush and brush. The sword's shadow is in the air, and the body of Ming Dao is drowned in an instant. Do not. A scream sweeping the sky. Chapter 4663. Chapter 4663. Above the screams of Ming Dao, they rang directly on the top of Mount Lu. Brush it. Numerous swords and shadows are raging, and no matter how the Ming Dao struggles, there is still no help. Diligence, 2 interest, 3 interest. Just 3 times. The shadow of the sky disappeared. At the same time, Ming Dao's figure fell from the sky. At this time, Ming Dao, the whole body has been tied into a sieve. Wan Jian wears a heart, and death can no longer die. What is even more ridiculous is that he is dead under his own means. At the end, it's just because Long Fei has a look. Ha ha, boss arrogant. I will kill the disciples of Lushan. Do you want to be so fierce? Li laughed. Now, it is Long Fei that has destroyed the entire mountain. Li no longer has the slightest doubt. At the bottom of my heart, I also had an inexplicable sense of trust in Long Fei. As long as the dragon is flying, everything is not a problem. At this time, the 7 sons of the mountains in the air. No, there are only 6 left now, and one by one is a retreat. I can kill the Ming Dao and directly destroy all their courage. There is no courage to even look directly at Long Fei. Go! The kid. The mountain does not turn, and I am born in the mountain, but you are here. Wait, I'm the elder of the mountain. I will hold the shadow of the sky and smash your head. Offend the fairy door, only death. The 6 sons of Lushan followed one after another. In front of Long Fei, they did not have the courage to shoot, but they were not willing to retreat. The mouths of each one are gunned up. Mahjong, the mouth is strong. There's a kind of down, seeing my boss slaps you off. 7 sons of Lushan, I am. I think it is only 6 dogs in Lushan, only dogs. Li said. At this moment, there is no worry in his heart. For Long Fei, it is already a state of unconditional trust. Even the heart is still a little faint. I hope that Long Fei will truly show its invincible posture and set a battle for it. In the air, the 6 people in Lushan have a footstep. The figure could not stop shaking, almost falling from the air. But I didn't dare to stay. I had to pretend that I didn't hear anything. I went to the depths of Mount Lu. Similarly, at this time on the entire Lushan Mountain, everyone was once again washed by Long Fei, especially those who thought that Long Fei would die. At this point, the faces are as embarrassing as eating. This result, they never thought about it. Everything happened between the electric and the flint. They didn't even figure out what was going on. They didn't see how Long Fei shot, and Ming Dao was already dead. This fear is fatal to them. This can tell me what happened. How did he do it? He did not know how to do it, and he died. And what is the story of his 7 sons? Haven't shot yet, ran back. What is this special as Xianmen? These people are almost crazy. I can't understand everything in front of me. Of course, they will never believe that Long Fei has a look and let the other side's power counter. Because with them now, they can't reach this height. At this time, Liu came to Long Fei. The sword just now, although Long Fei shot to help him avoid, can be injured after all. Boss, do you say the people from Lushan will come out? Li Fish asked. At the moment, his heart is extremely contradictory. Although I have great trust in Long Fei. On the one hand, after all, Lushan has been inherited for thousands of years and belongs to the legendary level. Who can't guarantee any old monsters in this store? What he didn't know was that Long Fei never put it on his heart. If there is still a flaw for Lushan, that is just the feelings before the past life has not passed through. As for the others, they don't care. At this time, the depths of Lushan. Earthquakes also occur directly. Reversely, even at this time, Chaosimi up the mountain is simply looking for death. Above the Lushan mountain, a white-haired old man was furious. The eyes are cold and glamorous. Although the whole body is awkward, it is extremely powerful. Yeah, Elder, that kid is a demon. I don't know what evil method I used. I didn't take the whole process. I used the means of Mingdao to kill the Mingdao. Horrible. One of the 6 sons in Lushan said, "Oh, no matter what means he has, he will die today. Otherwise, what is my name?" The white-haired old man said, "Volley a little. Sword is coming." Hey! The voice of the old man fell, and a sword screamed directly through the sky and descended. Fall directly into the hands of the old man. Old man, not seen in the millennium. Today, you have to use your enemy. Today, use your edge to tell the world, "I will come back." The old man said, killing. The next moment, the figure of the old man disappeared directly, and the sword went away. And the 6 sons of Lushan, a smile appeared on the faces at the moment. Compared with before, it is exactly 2 expressions. Ha ha ha! The sword elders are angry this time, and even the sword are taken out, and the boy is dead. Yes, there are those that do not know the so-called common people. One cannot stay. Otherwise, the name of my 7 sons in the mountains will be completely broken. That doesn't matter. It's just a bunch of garbage. Waiting for the elder to destroy the kid. Let us find a head and kill it. Some people said, incomparable expectations in the eyes. I don't know. All this is just what they fantasized. It won't happen at all. The picture turns again above the mountain. At the moment, Lushan is still very quiet, and everyone is quietly reseating quietly. They have already guessed that Lushan will not be willing to give up and will definitely come again. Therefore, I dare not rely too close to it for fear of being involved. Coming. Long Fei's dagger said. That boss, should I quit? Li Fish asked. Inexplicable. In the moment of Long Fei's opening, Li Yu's heart was directly excited. No, it's just a repairer in the infant period, and the finger is dead. Long Fei said, it doesn't matter if you look at it. Li Yu. Hey, the horror in Li Yu's heart has not been added. But when it was too late to say more, it was directly interrupted by a voice in the air. Fanfu folks, get out and die. Above the void, a burst of anger came. The killing is heavy, the sword is arrogant. Booming, the boundless sword swept the void and spread. I am Chao, so strong. Is this the essence of Xianmen? No wonder it is a wonderful world. It seems that this time the dust is settled. Even if there are more means for this kid, this time, it will definitely die. Among the crowd, several voices appeared again. Those who expected Long Fei to die in the past had renewed hope in their hearts. Of course, there are some people who still have hesitation in their hearts. At this time, they simply do not dare to speak. At this time, the dragon flew and looked up and said, "Old man, it." Chapter 46:64. Chapter 46:64. Long Fei's gaze penetrated the void and looked at the swordsman who came from the sword. His eyes moved. "Hey!" Directly punched out. At this time, Long Fei finally shot. Strictly speaking, this is his first initiative. Rumble. A fist banged out, and a swell of breath swayed the sky and swept the sky. "Hey!" A loud noise followed, and then saw a figure falling from the void. Correct. Is falling. Just a punch. The so-called elders of Lushan disappeared directly. High profile. Instant downturn. Rumble. The body of Lushan Jinzuan, falling vertically, draws a perfect arc and instantly falls. However, to death, he did not understand that he was a master of yuaning. Why did he not even have a chance to shoot? He was directly shot by a fist. Until the last second of death, he saw the figure of Long Fei slowly appearing in front of him. Jianzun used his last strength to look at Long Fei, but only to say one word: the neck is a glimpse, and the death is not eye-catching. Long Fei is like a of death, step by step to the side of Jianzun. Yuaning? It seems that the ancient heritage on Earth has finally reappeared on Earth. Long Fei thought of it in the heart. With the eternal life, casually, he saw through the repair of the sword. And this let dragon fly in the heart. Yuaning repair can't stop me from being a punch in ancient times. Well, unless it is a reappearance of the myth of the year, I am invincible. Long Fei has a position in his heart for his own strength. Yes, it is invincible. You must know that he just shot and repaired it to the realm of ancient power. Moreover, that punch is only with the power of the pure body. That is to say, if Long Fei is full of firepower, then the person above the earth who can stop his footsteps does not exist. Hey, congratulations to the players killing the elders of Lushan, gaining experience 0. The source value is 0, and the invincible point is 1. The system sound appears again. However, the results did not bring any surprises to Long Fei. Just a little invincible. Of course, this result is also expected in Long Fei. After all, these people have no sense of existence for him, and the backhand can be extinguished. The system naturally does not give things. However, just as Long Fei thought it was over, the system sounds, and it sounds again. Hey, congratulations to the player to trigger the system task. Repeat the myth, task level. SSS. Task time 1 year. Task reward, the source of the universe. Task punishment, failure is death. The system sounds down. The whole person of Long Fei is also excited. System tasks have not been triggered for a long time. Moreover, this time coming to the Earth, it is an active refuge. Long Fei did not think about it. It will trigger system tasks. Therefore, at this time, the system triggers the task, and for Long Fei, it also has a goal. Not blindly looking for. Reenact myth? Sure enough. But again, Long Fei's heart is also extremely shocking to this mission. After all, for the myths of the earth, he is also full of curiosity and unknown, and now triggering system tasks. It is inevitable to meet those legends in mythology. In other words, from now on, the myth of the earth will not be a legend, and Long Fei, one by one, will unveil this veil. The source of the universe? What? System sister, how you source is very powerful? Long Fei asked. Although the system is sometimes not reliable, but anything, danger and opportunity coexist. The task penalty is death. The source of the mission rewards must not go anywhere. Master, be sure to complete the task as soon as possible. If you get the source of the universe, it is definitely a counterproduction for you. Even, it is comparable to the power of eternal life. The system sister said a true scripture, very solemnly said. A dragon flies. He was also the first to see the system's sister so seriously. Reassure, since it is a system task, I will take it seriously. Longfei also said seriously. Even the system's sister said that it is against the sky. It can be seen that this reward is absolutely extraordinary. Besides, the task penalty is death. Longfei will definitely go all out. At this time, on the top of the mountain, the figure was directly broken. The momentum is overwhelming and the killing is strong. Where is the enchanting, since I dare to come to my mountains? An angry drink immediately appeared more than a dozen figures. In addition to the 7 sons of Lushan, is a few white bearers who were in front of Lushan. Longfei slightly raised his head and his voice remained unchanged. But the people around are different. As soon as the people who saw Lushan appeared, they already knew that Lushan had moved this time. Boss, Liu also became nervous and came to Longfei. Looking at the glare, there is a decisive relationship with Longfei. Longfei smiled lightly. Reassured they can't turn any tricks, Longfei said softly. After that, I looked at the top of Mount Lu. I was about to speak, but I was interrupted by the reaction of the crowd on the mountain. The immortal is angry. All this is done by this kid, and has nothing to do with us. Yes, it's 2 of them. I don't know how to live and die, but I'm really asking for it. I have said that Xianmin is not insulting. They are looking for death. A voice, almost the sound of crusade, generally bursts into the sky. All the sounds are mixed, but there is only one central idea. That is, everything is a dragonfly, and has nothing to do with them. It is Longfei who is looking for death. They are innocent people. Funny, a bunch of dog things. You dare to say, who of you have not been bullied by those people? I will help you, you will not be grateful. But now is still down the stone. Li Fish is furious, and in the eyes of Longfei, is also a bit colder. After taking a picture of Liu, nothing, the ignorant, is fearless. But from their opening, they're no longer innocent. As you wish, this world needs awe. Longfei said, ambiguous. However, Liu can feel the endless killing of the dragon flying. The corpse is everywhere. For a moment, Liu's heart appeared in such a word. There is no reason, no basis, but he knows that the dragon is angry. Very good. I have opened the mountain door today, and you have made the right choice. As for them, only death. Above the void, an old man said. His eyes flashed, and his fingers were a little bit. Brush. A long sword emerges above the void, and then infinitely magnifies, directly becomes 100 feet, and then suddenly falls. Dead. The elders of Lushan drink and control the sword, and they are volleyed. Cannot wait a second. The color of the face of this person disappeared completely. The cold expression on his face also solidified instantly. No, this is impossible. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.